Oh, God. What's up, Coffee? Almost court time.
Helicopter and fly it.
No. Well,
Opening.
No. Personal, yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
Been playing Billionaire with Twitch integration, which, what the fuck is happening? I didn't know the Twitch integration would always post in my chat, though. So once I'm done streaming, I'll go deal with that. Or actually, hang on. I could probably deal with it right now. Options. Wait. Did it get unlinked? Hang on. Hang on. Playing a quick run. Okay. It looks like it's disconnected now. All right, good. 19 hours, 35 minutes? Oh, until Path of Exile. I need to figure out what I'm playing tomorrow. What's going on, Tiomi? Tiomi. Tiomi.
Look at this mess they caused.
Wait, I told them to clean this up.
I know. I literally just told them on the little new Mimi thing, like, they better clean this up before I get up here.
All right, you four owe me a lap. You know who you are.
Who owes you a lap?
You, Mark, Jordan, Jackson.
Why?
It's not
The kitchen's a fucking mess.
I told Jackson that he can stay and watch the court because that's more important, and then he can clean it up after. It's not like anyone's gonna be cooking. I'm busy.
It's a health code violation, you know? We are the DAs.
Well, no one's cooking in there. I'm down in the courtroom.
All right, if this is still a mess after my appeal, then we're going to have an issue.
Jackson's cleaning it up as soon as open court's done.
All right.
Open court. Do you need me for anything, or you just calling for me?
Poison. What'd you say, Tammy?
Do you need me for something, or you just calling for me?
No, I just saw you walking in. I just wanted to grab you.
Yeah, okay.
No worries.
Yep. Yeah, Murphy and I had quite a bench trial.
Oh, is that what Kinsley was talking about?
Yep. Literally, they apparently found not guilty other than possession, and both of them got like 40 contempt altogether.
Jesus.
Yeah, and we just found out we probably shouldn't call Sampson to the stand anymore. He's not exactly reliable on the stand. We probably need to like talk to him before we do that. Not explain what to do, but be like more clear on his answers.
Oh, okay.
I got most lawyers probably just let them do it, but they
Yeah.
really objected everything for the sake of wasting time. But yeah, it was it was not great.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You have appeal today. You have one today you have to do? Appeal?
I have an appeal in an hour and a half. We're arguing the felony murder rule. So,
Okay.
individual that's appealing, he kidnapped and was involved in shooting officers. Two of his compatriots in the course of doing this died during the shootout with officers. And so by the felony murder rule, what we're trying to argue is that's why they were charged with 2 times second-degree murder. Because their actions had knowingly had a foreseeable consequence of getting into a firefight with police officers. A foreseeable consequence of that is death because of, guns are inherently devices used to kill people. And when you shoot officers, yeah, they're going to shoot back.
Oh, yeah, I was wondering about that one. But yeah, now that you explain it to me, yeah, that makes sense.
So then, by that rule, even if it's the police who shot these individuals and killed them, because they were accomplices to this crime and they were all working together to commit these felonies, they are the ones who are ultimately responsible with their deaths.
And this is that hour and a half?
Yeah, it's at Route 68, it looks like.
Yeah, I have one at 10:30, so I probably won't be able to make that one.
Yeah, my other 2 cases got moved for tonight. I had a civil case, but Squibb ended up getting murdered, I guess. So that's back in continuance. And then one of my witnesses for a late night appeal couldn't make it, so I had to continue it.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I have one with Price tonight. That was a civil.
Oh, okay.
And I think I talked to you. They never added Van Nunn as a witness, but based on whoever I talked to, they don't need to add them. But other people tell you they do need to add them. So I guess it's going to depend on Sandra.
Yeah, it depends on if the judge allows it or not, but typically, in my experience, civil cases, the plaintiff and the defendant are inherently, or the respondent in this case, they're inherently able to be called as witnesses because they're the 2 people with the issue, and it's not like you're not testifying to criminal charges. It's a civil matter, so the Fifth Amendment doesn't apply here.
Okay, that's fine. I have a couple hours to work on some questions for class.
Okay.
I'm not too worried about it. I mean, the trooper's not going to hate me even more. I mean, yeah, I got something ready for it, I hope.
Lee, are
Okay.
you available?
Basically, the Van Nunn played dead and then claiming that.
Kinsley just asked for you on radio.
You calling me?
Hello?
Yeah, I just call her.
Okay.
Ren non literally played dead, but he's claiming that he wasn't played dead and got double tapped on the ground.
Oh.
Then he has a medical report that he got shot twice, which, I mean, makes sense. If you get shot down, you're going to get GSR wounds. And then they had a PTSD medical record saying that he
Haley,
had.
are you on radio?
Oh, they call him for Haley.
Haley.
Yeah, I'm on
She's
radio.
in... Oh, never mind.
And then they have a
Are you
PTSD
free for a
medical record
conversation?
saying he had cold sweats when he ever think about cops. So I asked if I could add all his previous criminal charges, not the report, just the charges, and show that he's totally not having PTSD if he's still doing it.
Yeah.
I think I got that.
Yeah, you should be fine. I would
Yeah.
maybe grab like a ADA to help you with that. Sounds like a good case for it.
Will I still be able to add a co-counsel right now?
Well, I mean, just have them shadow you. They don't necessarily need to be a chair. Treat them like a paralegal.
Yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, I can do that. I'll probably grab Mark. Maybe Diamond's probably going to be around, so he would be a illegal.
Yeah.
Jordan should be around, hopefully. He just
Yeah,
got
just-
boosted up. Did you boost him up?
I didn't. I saw he already was, though, so he just hadn't
Yeah,
taken a
because-
nap yet.
Haley literally just asked me to boost him up, or Mark did.
Yeah, they asked me
So
too.
I went to, yeah, so I looked at it and it was already junior. Okay. Yeah, I am going to go to that open court, probably take a nap in a chair down there.
All right.
Okay, good luck on your case.
All right, yeah, if you need me, tell them, text me. I'll be at Route 68.
Yep.
Mm-mm-mm. Hopefully Ripley wakes up soon. Oh, yeah. Whoops. Alright, let's get some gas. Or no, we can just head up to Route 68. Here, I don't want the noir music, actually. I want... What do I want? Excuse me. God, I picked at my fucking finger, and now it really hurts. And I'm mad because it hurts, but I did this to myself. But I'm still mad about it. Bruh? What do you mean? Bruh moment. Okay, good. Yeah. Uh, is that a cop car? No. Wait, is it? I can't tell. I was a little worried I was going to get pulled over. Oh, it was a cop car. Do they get points? No, but you can't get your license rescinded if you have unpaid tickets or get enough tickets within a certain time frame. So tickets essentially act like points, but it's like there's not a difference if you got like say a reckless speeding versus like an illegal parking ticket. Because that actually, like, illegal parking and stuff counts, too. Mm. Oh.
Baines, have you prepared?
Yeah, yes, I have.
Okay, good. I'm looking forward to this. Okay.
The thing I wanted to do, it didn't quite turn out, so I'm gonna have to do it the basic way, but it's still gonna be good.
Okay.
Or what's
alright, good.
happening?
Well, he's gonna give us a little presentation today. I don't want
I
to
don't
spoil
see
it.
him.
Ooh, nice.
Yes.
I love show and tell days.
Let me see.
Forgot they have their meeting today. I forget where the church is. There it is. Oops. Holy fuck, I couldn't think about... couldn't think what the word trunk was for a second. My brain stopped working. I need a cowboy suit, actually, now that I think about it. When I've got... when I've got BCSO court. Route 68 Church. Like the one from Onyx, yeah. Fuck, what was my suit? Oh, the bolo tie. That's right. Bolo tie, white hat, gray pants, yeah. Or I need like a holy... I need like a... Signs the cross. What's today's court about? Today's court is about the felony murder rule, which in real life, so it depends on where you live and how they define it. But typically, when you commit a violent felony, such as, for example, kidnapping somebody and shooting at the cops that respond, if somebody dies during the course of that felony, in this case, it was two of the individuals who were helping with the kidnapping and helping with the shooting. If people die during the course of that felony, then the remaining people, or the people committing those felonies, are responsible by way of what's called the felony murder rule. In some jurisdictions, it's for violent felonies. For some jurisdictions, it's any felony. It depends. And so in this case, I think arguing for a violent felony makes sense, right? And actually, they are only appealing the murder charges, the shooting charges, and the resisting charges. Which was he not? Wait, was he not charged for kidnapping? Oh, he wasn't. So he's not pleading, or he's pleading guilty to trespassing, criminal possession of shit. So he's saying he did have a weapon, We have evidence that he was GSR positive, so I don't know why then they are arguing that he attempted to murder somebody. Maybe they're trying to argue yeah. Again, I don't know. I don't like when I didn't like as a defense lawyer when my client would want to plead guilty to some of the charges, because then you are inherently setting yourself up as somewhat guilty, obviously, because you're admitting to some of the crimes that happen. And that can inherently make you kind of responsible for the actions and what happens during the incident. So, I mean, I think they'll have a very hard argument. Now, the main crux of the argument is this person who responded, helped these people, shot at officers, was caught with a bunch of shit. Are they then responsible for 2 of the suspects who died during the shootout? That's what we're arguing today. And Ripley wanted to push it. I agree with him based on that logic. Do I think it should be for all felonies? No. I think it should only be for violent felonies. Like in this case, attempting to murder officers. So, we'll see. All right. I am gonna go to the bathroom quick. I'll be back. And then I gotta fill out my questioning. We only have the one witness. Should be pretty quick, actually. Like, the appeal shouldn't be too bad. No, it starts in an hour and 10 minutes. I'm just here really early because I wanted to get away from everybody and focus on my questions. All right. I'll be right back. Oh. Oh, chat, I got some beaver nuggets from Buc-ee's. Mmm. Disneyland of gas stations? Yeah. Yeah. So I got some beaver nuggets. Delicious. So delicious. They're not actual. No, they're like corn pops covered with like caramel and sugar and stuff. They taste like French toast crunch. They're so fucking good. If you've ever had French toast crunch. I don't know if they have sugary cereals in Finland. Not that specific one. I don't even know if they make that one anymore. Discontinued in 2006. Oh, wait, it was reintroduced. Wait, you can buy it right now. You can. Oh. Dog. French toast crunch. Corn syrup America moment? Yeah, of course. Delicious. It's very slippery. Were you on duty on January 21st? Direct to... Did you encounter the defendant on January 21st? Yeah, I love corn syrup. So were you on duty? Direct to corn and corn byproducts. He was concerned he heard what sounded like a shotgun blast. Deputy Ripley. Arrived at the scene, pursued a suspect who additionally did not have a firearm in his hands and therefore was not shot. However, the suspect did not comply. No autopsy report. Linked warrants. Doesn't... Oh, we on duty. What do I want to do? Direct witness to CR 6101. Can I have like levels? Oh. Do it like this. Oops. Alright. God damn it. Direct witness. Are you familiar with this arrest report? How are you familiar with this arrest report? Let's see. How are you familiar with this arrest report? Who is this arrest report about? How did you encounter the defendant? What would it be? What brought you to I wonder, does a radio... Oh, yeah, because it's present sense. Yeah, that's right. So radio conversations, like requests for backup, etc., can be admissible under the present sense impression. Okay, so that's good. It's not an excited utterance like what a 911 calls is, although can be. 911 calls also be a present sense. Excuse me. Present sense. What's it called? How did you encounter the defendant? Did you hear any calls for backup in relation to this incident? Any radio traffic about this incident? What kind of radio traffic did you hear? Did you respond to this incident? Did anything happen while you were responding to this incident? What happened? Your Honor, today we are here for what on its surface appears to be a typical case involving between suspects and officers. What causes this case to be different the deaths of 2 of the 4 suspects involved in this incident. One of those suspects, Mr. Coolidge, is in court today. Come on, Ripster. Need you to wake up, dog. Let's see. Have I messaged Matt before? Atticus Goodman. Do.
Ain't no mountain high enough. Ain't no valley low enough. Ain't no river wide enough.
Keep me from getting to you, babe. What the fuck? Okay.
Just a heads up, I brought Lars. He's fucking pissed and he's talking about buying a gun.
Well, what? Wait, what? What the fuck?
Is there a
Where
court
is he?
case He's outside on the phone.
Oh. Yeah, there's court in like 50 minutes, but
Oh, 50.
yeah, it wasn't on top of the hour. I'm just preparing for it.
Gotcha. Sorry, didn't mean to barge.
No, you're fine. What's Lars pissed about? Here, let's go talk to Lars quick. Here, I heard you wanted a gun.
I need a... Yep, you have a gun. Bye. I do need a gun.
Why?
Because it got stolen from Piper Riggs when she stabbed me in City Hall. All I did was walk up to the salaries, which they were chatting around, you know, crowding the fucking salary area. And I went, all right, move aside, Terrace. I just got to grab my salary. I said one comment. She immediately stabbed me inside of City Hall in front of the armed guards.
Well, I mean, that was... I'm not trying to victim blame, but Piper Riggs is probably not the person I would...
I thought the guards would blow her head off if she tried that, man.
Yeah.
Those guards suck.
Yeah, they got a slow trigger finger.
Yeah, next time I'll do it. Also, Gordon was there 5 seconds ago with his shotgun and just so happened to leave earshot right as I did that. So when I screamed for help when they took out a knife, Gordon didn't turn around and pull out his shotgun.
Oh. Did this just happen?
Yesterday.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I'd give you my firearm if I could, but...
Technically, you can lend me your firearm.
Wasn't there an issue with, since it's registered to me?
All right, I gotta talk with Tiomi about how insane this shit was. 1 sec.
About what?
This case.
What case?
Because he witnessed all the one that they're about to do in the church.
Oh, is there a bench trial?
No, full trial. Hey, Tiomi.
What? But this is my case.
Hey, what's up? Lee!
What case is going on now?
Guess so.
Huh?
Sorry, we didn't want to disturb.
What case is going on here?
Can you verify that?
The gossiping, I can't confirm. I was in the back, but I just know they did the closing and then they left. And then we sat there for like an hour and a half waiting for the verdict.
Siobhan was out there talking with the defense, attorney included, for like fucking 3 to 5
Apparently, for
minutes.
3 to 5 minutes, they were slandering a witness
They were
with the
shit-talking to
defense
Roche.
before she went back and did a judgment.
Tatum, this might jog your memory.
Oh,
They
this
were-
must have been when I literally stepped out to talk to someone on the phone about something
May have
else
been.
then.
Look. All right,
Yeah,
I'll
I
try
just
and
stepped out
see if
for a
Raiden
little
knows.
bit. And I did, yeah, I was talking to, I think I remember, I was talking to,
I was told
DeRoche
they literally
and-
called DeRoche dishonorable and some other shit.
Like disgraced
Disgraced?
and ashamed. Were
I mean, I heard yelling, that's all I heard. But like I said, I was talking to Hawthorne and DeVilge
Right.
when that probably happened.
You got
were
my
calling
back
it a-
in that. I only went there to help schedule, and yet they turned it to a full motion hearing, which I told them it's very stupid to get out recordings, and that I had to ask to give a closing argument because she nearly did summary judgment without getting any arguments.
I mean, yeah, I got your back on that. Like,
Right.
I'll be honest with you.
You remember me asking, like, well, if you're going to summary judgment, at least let me try and point out some shit.
Yeah, because you were trying to view it. But, like, I'm going to give you my honest opinion. I disagree with the corruption, honestly.
I don't
But
care about your opinion, Taylor,
yeah,
to be honest,
okay.
on
Yeah.
whether we push that charge or not.
Yes, but,
I'm not trying to be mean, but that's
Yeah,
not what
I
this
do
conversation
understand.
is about.
yes, Yeah, it must have been Lily when I walked out to talk to Hawthorne and DeVilch about other
Also,
things.
do you disagree? You don't disagree with the PD rehiring someone who is admitted to leaking important information and possibly equipping people in the prison?
Like, I did not know that part of it. Like, I literally was...
That's like the whole crux of both cases.
I just heard that he hired Raw back, but I didn't hear about what Raw was doing.
I didn't specifically say the bag was handed in prison in my closing because I had 2 minutes because I have fucking moonlighting in the morning, and they extended that into a 2-hour-long pre-trial fucking hearing where I suddenly had to argue the entire case in a summary judgment.
Yep, I do remember that. They were literally trying to rush you and you.
But I did specifically say she admitted to leaking important warrant information to them, and yet they still rehired her to give her back privileged access and privileges. I said that in my closing.
Like I said, I literally stepped out during that part.
Okay.
That's when I started Hawthorne, and then I didn't hear anything after that.
All right.
I walked in when the guy would pretty much end in their closing.
All right. I was checking if you heard what Lee heard. All right. Bye.
First was in there too.
First was?
Yeah.
Did he hear him shit talking a witness?
Probably. Yeah, I am not fucking tripping. This happened. And that motherfucking that Moore guy was in there bragging about 11 procedure.
Dude, Siobhan is blaming everything like on me. She tried to say I tried to get her in an ex parte conversation, so she was forced to have an emergency pretrial, which just so you're aware is me and Dan were talking on the sidewalk about completely unrelated things. So I sent her a text like, oh, by the way, there's motions on the docket. And then when she got next to me, I said, by the way, there's motions on the docket. You know, right on there on the motion is these people can't make it. I just found out. I tried to I literally got on and just found out. And she tried to say, well, you're now making an argument that's ex parte meeting. I have to have a pretrial hearing, and that like I asked for it, and I didn't even ask for a pretrial hearing. Right as she left for a pretrial hearing, I told Dan like, I don't know why she needs a pretrial hearing. I just told her what was on the motion. I just said there's a motion on the docket for you to see. So I go to this pretrial hearing, and she goes, before we try and schedule, I want the defense and prosecution to try and work it out. And I go, what do you mean work it? Okay, what does the defense want to work out? And defense goes, I want you to drop the charges because this is an awful case you have no evidence of. And my rebuttal was, no evidence? Like, we have a recording of her admitting to this shit. And then he objected to the recording the moment I said that, and we had to have a hearing about the fucking recordings where Siobhan says, I have checked deeply and we don't accept recordings where a two-party consent state after I make the arguments of there's no expectation of privacy with officers. There's no expectation of privacy with officers in an interrogation room. There also is clear recording equipment, and there's not two-party consent when it comes to interrogations.
Yeah, unless you have a lawyer with you.
That's not what two-party consent is.
Yeah.
So, point being, they just ruled on that because apparently some eldritch witchcraft from months ago or some shit. I don't fucking care. I told her it was stupid, that I've never heard of that fucking restriction at all because, you know, I haven't in our current administration, and it's the stupidest thing ever. So she ruled on that, and then she tried to force scheduling, and I said... And then she tried to start coming up with compromises about, well, can we hear the case and just read the report without witnesses? And I'm like, fuck no, I can't have recordings anymore, so now I have to have Wrangler, and DeRoche is like our most important witness. Of course we need DeRoche. And she's just trying to come up with every single reason that we might not need the witness, that she'll just accept the report and we won't need to have the witness. And I'm telling her, no, of course we need the witness. They can add more information. This is just a report. Also, they prove to you they're trustworthy on the stand by surviving cross, so you take their testimony more seriously.
Well, yeah, I mean, Ranger explicitly only writes PC in his reports, so the defense doesn't have anything to work with.
So I tell her, of course we need these people, and they says, well, we can't come to any compromise with scheduling if we can't do it tomorrow on Wednesday. I'm going to summary judgment. And she said, I'm going back to deliberate now. And I go, well, can I at least give a summary of arguments? She literally almost went to give summary judgment without even hearing any arguments. I had to ask to give 5 minutes of arguments because I had to be gone at that point, by the way. And I
Yeah.
still asked to give arguments because I don't leave a job unfinished, at least. I am so fucking mad over this. You know, I've been bad the last 2 weeks ever since that double jeopardy ruling.
Yeah.
This feels like all of it combined into one. Every single problem. I specifically told Dan that the reason he failed and they made new justices is because he didn't fire everyone and start from scratch like he should have.
Yeah, I mean would it have solved this issue though?
Yeah, because the
What-
point is he would have forced them to be rehired and dropped fucking down a peg saying, yeah, you know what? I'm not even promoting anyone to high justices or a trustworthy position. You have to prove yourself. You have to prove yourself. Everyone has to prove themselves to even make these kind of decisions.
Hmm.
And put them, and honestly, half the judges should probably be fired. I fucking hate this shit.
It's not great.
And I'm going to be
Not
honest.
great.
No matter how much I like Nigma, she's kind of one of them. After that double jeopardy ruling.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
Nigma, Siobhan, Sparks, Rudy fucking still can't get a consistent ruling on his fucking belt.
I have him in half hour.
Holy shit, I just cooked up a statement. I'm gonna go smoke a bunch of weed. That's
Hell
legal.
yeah. So,
Okay.
I
We just let him do drugs while
So
on the
mad.
job.
Metaphorical.
I'm gonna be honest, the only judge I
Oh,
like
okay.
is the only judge I can
Oh, you
name
think I
in
work
the
here?
courtroom that I like, just because I haven't seen like Cassie in a courtroom
know.
and shit like that, is Yackle.
Free spirit, baby.
Yeah. Cassian, yeah, I haven't seen in action. Trying to think. I haven't seen Clausen in action. All the stuff I had her on got summary judged because nobody fucking responded.
Summary judged it against you or for you?
For the state, because it was
Good, okay.
yeah,
People
it
just weren't
was,
responding. Got it.
they weren't responding on the docket anymore. And I have a few HUT cases that are like that.
I've actually never been this mad in the city before.
Well,
I'm
yeah,
actually so
I
mad.
mean-
I'm sick.
I understand that.
I don't know how if you felt this way in our DOJ before, but that's
I felt that way about the appeals that were granted for the HUT rulings previously.
Oh my god, that
'Cause that was my terrorism case that then
Mhm.
was overturned for like a brief second because of one missing GSR test.
Oh yeah, that was yours. And then my Jackson Knight one that took 14 days for an appeal to go through when they shotgunned every single excuse they could.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, T only had to present that one in court because I had to go on vacation. But I wrote
Yeah.
those warrants and shit. I was, ooh,
Well, if you didn't get arrested in Hawaii, I mean,
yeah, I know, fucking. Oh, I wasn't arrested in Hawaii. I went there because I was summoned to court and then got arrested.
and then
in
you were
Hawaii.
arrested. Well, yeah, I suppose tomato,
assholes.
tomato, right? Yeah, I mean, I've felt that way before. I would suggest maybe not doing any work today. Maybe find something else to do.
No, I'm here to defend myself because I found out when I entered. Apparently, Wrangler and Gordon told me that Siobhan was kind of shifting the blame to me for all of this.
No.
Because she said something untrue, which was Gordon told me him and Wrangler couldn't make it, and immediately after Gordon told me, the moment he told me, I called DeRoche and said, "Well, can you still make it? At least I can do it with one witness." And he said no, and it was true. He could not make it until today. So I said motion for continuance, and that's where Siobhan suddenly got the idea we need to do a full pre-trial of scheduling. And I should have just not showed up. I should no, if it's not scheduled pre-trial, I can't.
Yeah, I mean, I would just take the contempt and walk out.
Yeah, that's my mistake. I'm gonna take in contempt for every pre-trial hearing from now on. I think I'm never gonna go to a pre-trial hearing anymore. I'm gonna say motion pre-trial hearings cringe. Because they're never
not
just
over
pre-trial hearings.
Not over a very serious case.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and literally every single pre-trial hearing, I'm gonna motion for. I'm not because I'm gonna say all 3 pre-trial hearings I've gone to. have decided the case. So no. Go to court, you fuckers.
Yeah, what the hell?
Apologies, I've been yapping for.
No,
like
that's
15
fine.
minutes.
I mean, I'm
am-
just I'm procrastinating my prep for this case. But
I'm gonna be honest. Before yesterday, I was thinking about applying to be a judge, not because I don't like the DOJ. I think the DOJ's fucking kick ass. Our DA's office kicks ass.
yeah.
Legitimately, this is the best DA's office I've ever heard of.
We do good work.
And so I don't want to leave that, but I feel like, I don't know, every single DA has had shit rulings for the past 2 weeks. Richard Stroker has gotten the absolute worst end of it. Constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a hut with him Saturday. I hope he can,
Good.
you know, get a nice conviction there.
And so I actually don't want to leave that, but it feels like it's almost more important we have more enjoyable court. And I think I'd be more impactful if I tried to be a judge to make court enjoyable.
Yeah, but I mean, how? I don't know. I've heard a lot of people try to make that argument.
I don't really want to do this. I mean, I like bar stuff. I also really like the idea of judging, like deliberation, finding reasonable
Well, yeah,
doubt,
of course. I mean,
going
for
through it. Like all that sounds fucking cool.
sounds fun.
And
but yeah,
I also
mean,
hate the idea. But what I'm trying to say is your thing, which is I hate the idea of the reason I want to become a judge is because I don't like other judges. Of course, I need to like my coworkers if I'm gonna go work with them. Jesus.
yeah,
It's like
I
really hard to want to, for the good merits when there's like this underlying anger.
yeah. Yeah, I would cook on that. I mean, don't let that.
This was like 2 weeks of cooking ever since the double jeopardy thing.
Yeah, I mean, some things just take a little bit longer. I don't know. These things kind of.
The main thing is when the double jeopardy thing occurred and they had to do the appeals, it felt like, okay, we just did this thing where we had to overturn all these stupid
no one
appeals
person can just walk
because
in
the judges
and
just weren't getting the hint,
fix
right?
anything.
And then immediately after that, they were still awful. And it's like, did we not learn our lesson at all?
Yeah.
What is happening? Which is why I then told Dan, like, Dan, why didn't you just fire everyone and curate your own judge list?
Ouch. Yeah, I mean,
I actually want to tell that to Cassian, but I'm not going to. It's the
yeah, that would.
It'll come off bad.
God, another fucking restructure.
I mean, we didn't. I'm gonna be honest with Dan. We didn't really get a restructure.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, I mean,
After a week, everyone got promoted to judge and justice, and then immediately, the moment he was indisposed, they acted the exact same way as if Dan wasn't leading them at all in the first place.
No.
So he didn't really restructure if he didn't get rid of the problems in the restructure or like prevent them from being able to be problems in the restructure. So that's what I mean by that. It's just, I don't think the DOJ actually restructured. I
think that no single person can walk in and fix the issues that we have currently. And I don't think
I think they can, as long as they literally start from burning it to the ground. But they can't.
Yeah, but I mean that then is not on a single person, like inherently. The other thing is anyone to walk in with the idea to try and fix things and then ends up finding that they can't.
Get
like
suppressed, yeah.
That's just a recipe for immediate burnout and fucking hating anything you do.
When I say become a judge, I have no expectation that I'm going to get judges fired or anything. It's the only expectation I have is at least court can be... I want to make court the thing I very much enjoy enjoyable. And at least through that position, I think court could be enjoyable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I think. I don't want to like start with high aspirations or shit. That's stupid. I don't even care like about the power judges have. I just care about court. like being.
I mean, but
enjoyable.
we can do that right now, like through our office. We can
from what
we can inherently make at least half of the courtroom enjoy it.
I think we are. I think we are trying to present conflict cases, bring witnesses, and like recognize that we just want to go to court and let's do it that way because
Yeah.
not only is that the easiest way, that's the most enjoyable way. I think we do as the office, and we've unburdened a lot of shit from the PD when we do our cases to make it like, hey, PD, like hopefully we communicate with you and it should be an enjoyable case, and we do all that kind of stuff. We have very close relations with them. And yet every time we show up to court, it immediately goes into a cop bad argument, shit ton of pretrial motions, instead of just hearing the damn case.
Yeah, if I get another,
control.
I swear to God, if I get another fucking motion to suppress based on a witness not being called by the prosecution, I'm gonna flip. There's no inherent, if they want to cross a witness or ask witness questions, they are allowed to call witnesses.
Yep.
Like, that's not our job to call a witness to just allow them to cross it. Like, a police report is submitted as basically a sworn affidavit as part of their job.
A police report has a hearsay exception of a regularly kept record.
So it's, God, I fucking hate it. I hate it. I've had that happen now in 3 different cases in a row. And every time the judge is like, I'll just wait accordingly, which is what they are doing every time. They do that anyway.
Yep.
So we waste a bunch of time just talking about shit that was going to happen.
If they come with a motion to suppress a police report, I'm just going to straight up say, were you given this in discovery? Yeah, fuck you. Not in those words, but you know what I mean.
Sure.
It's like, it's basics, guys, basics. Fight on actual... Can we fight on arguments?
Yeah, I'm sick of this.
Over witness examination rather than this technicality.
I'm sick of this tiddly bullshit.
Yeah. I never did tiddly bullshit when I was a fucking defense lawyer.
I can't say that I didn't, but I tried not to do it for every single case. I am guilty of some of those arguments. I mean, I've done that before, but...
The only thing I ever did was non-police report testimony. So like a separate report that's like someone's affidavit rather than the actual just police report of what happened on the scene. The moment they were actually getting like affidavits, I would like, all right, you guys realize an affidavit is not an affidavit just because you say it's an affidavit, first of all. Second of all, it's still by definition hearsay. Stop submitting hearsay. I had to go on that rant ever since I was a defense lawyer. But a police report of just the police describing what happened on scene is a regularly kept record. It's their job to do it for every scene and sign.
Yeah. Oh, Ripley's awake finally. Howdy.
Hey, Whitlock, what's going on?
Hey, court in about 30 minutes at the church on Route 68.
All right, looking forward to it. Do you want to get together and go over the facts of the case or anything?
Yeah, I'm here right now if you want to swing by. I'm already here, so.
No problem. I'm just down the street. Let me get my clothes on. I'll head on over. Should I, what do you usually prefer cops do on appeals like this? Uniform or a suit?
It's up to you. I have no preference.
I look damn good in a suit. You'll see.
All right.
All right, see ya.
All right, see you in a
Oh,
bit.
you hungry,
Bye-bye.
Whitlock? You want me to bring any food?
Yeah, why don't you bring some food?
I'll bring something for you. All right, see ya.
I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
If it came down to it, do you think you could kill another man with a fire axe?
Yeah, I could.
I don't know why standing out here reminds me of a scene from Mr. Robot and from a certain season. I don't want it to be too spoilery in case you hadn't seen it. I don't know why it just made me think of it.
Yeah, don't spoil.
Yeah, no spoilers. Good show, good show.
But yeah, I've chopped enough firewood. I could chop a person in half, I think.
Hell yeah.
You know, it's weird. I can now make the argument of judges kept saying, why do we need a separate SABA bar council if we can just trust judges to do it? And they kept making that argument. And now today I'll actually be able to tell them, you know what? It's because your judges aren't ethical and I don't trust them to be. You need to select 2 actual ethical ones because I don't trust the rest of them.
I don't know why they were in there thinking like Yeah, no one will probably say anything about this, right? They were fucking wild.
Dude, that's bad that I think the judges can't even fucking lead the bar, which also other states don't even just have judges lead the bar fucking anyway. So I don't get why they're so desperate to say it's too complicated not to just let judges do it. And I'm just going to be like, based on the judges we hired, they're not fucking competent enough to be the bar people.
It's just simple have power and never want to give it up. Why would they? Willingly.
I've explicitly told people I don't fucking care if Gordon's really AG because I don't want to play politics to get that position. I appreciate being a DA because I got to help write the SOPs and make some changes and hopefully for the better, where people are energized and feel competent and feel like the office is in there and stuff like that. But like, I didn't mind, Phoebe being my boss a long time ago, Hardy being my boss, Tiomi being my boss. Didn't care. I don't get why people care about being the boss so much. I get that there's aspirational stuff. Like, we should eventually, if you show the skill set, be able to rise to it and have that opportunity, but share that opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure what it is.
Anything you got to rant about, Uriel? I've been ranting this whole time.
That I have to rant about?
Yeah.
Not really. I had like 5 huts in 7 days. I never want to ever do that again.
Yeah, I saw that. I went, I don't know how he does it because I can't do it. I physically, literally don't have the time.
I got somebody convicted of the death penalty, but I felt like I didn't do very well. I think the other thing.
Wait, you don't think you did well?
No. No, Ham was crashing out. But we ended up getting him convicted on most of the charges and then the terrorism, and he got sentenced to death, so I mean, Ham in the end did the
Court just got canceled.
Ham did the work. I mean, I admit I didn't do very well in terms of the prep and probably the arguments I could have brought to court, right?
I thought about prosecuting it, and then I saw you grabbed it. I was just like, all right, I won't touch it. I'll try and be outside of it.
Yeah, she had been working with me on it previously.
Yeah, I saw that you were.
But yeah,
I try and give people their cases.
I gotta cap it at like 2 huts, really, if I'm doing anything. I can't do. And then I had like 5 appeals, and then this civil case, but Squib is fucking dead now, so that's in scheduling hell.
Yeah, the pond case, I wasn't. The only reason I took it is because Gordon went, Uriel can't make it, and I can't make it. We need someone.
Yeah,
anyone.
I couldn't make it today, which I think is the original day, right? Because I had this appeal come up, which I wanted to have this appeal because Ripley and I are trying to argue for the felony murder rule.
Which is?
When you commit a violent felony and you're working with, and somebody dies during that felony, the liability is on you for committing the felony and foreseeing reasonable consequences being death.
Yeah.
In this case, shooting at cops. And then the cops shot and killed 2 of the suspects who were shooting at them. So we charged the 2 remaining suspects with their second-degree murder.
Contact murder.
Yeah, transferred intent. So it's the argument that... I think Ripley's there.
I thought the felony murder rule is still only if their actions led to the reasonable death, and it still wasn't the cop shooting them, though.
Well, their actions were trespassing and then running away and
were
like
those
shooting at cops.
People who died, or were those people shooting at the cops?
They were shooting at cops.
Yeah, then that's not felony murder rule because they're all co-conspirators and shooting at the cops. They didn't just cause the death of an innocent, unrelated, you know what I mean? Through their actions.
Right, but there was a foreseeable consequence that what they were doing could end up with them dying.
Yeah, but you don't get charged with your teammates,
here.
Right? I mean, maybe I'm misunderstanding felony murder rule. I thought your teammates didn't get hit. You know what I mean? Unless your actions caused
maybe
you know what I mean?
Maybe Ripley
like,
can explain it better.
Yeah, because I
Here.
thought it was. So I thought it was like you do a robbery, right? And
Yeah.
something goes wrong, like the explosives on the vault, and that causes a shrapnel to hit someone you didn't intend to kill. Felony murder rule, because your actions of using explosives clearly can cause physical injury and death.
Yeah.
That's where I see felony murder rule. It's the if they're part of your team though, do they get charged?
That's what we're arguing.
Yeah, I don't know that. I like the argument though.
Hey, Lars or Whitlock.
Yeah.
Hi, Rudy.
Hey, I know I'm about to stop doing this, but I'm giving you guys benefit of the doubt because I keep telling you guys. Can someone put the evidence locker, into the evidence because they
Pictures?
can't see it? Yeah, because they can't see it.
Pretty sure it was. Oh, the criminal report doesn't. Okay.
All right. Well, as long as you verify those
Rose's calling
images
for
are
you,
just
Lars.
what's. All right. Where does he want me?
He's probably on 66 now, calling for you.
I had my radio and gun stolen by Piper Riggs after she stabbed me.
Oh, God damn it. Rose, you on radio? Rose?
Howdy, Ripley.
Which side are we on? This side?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Tell Rose that Lars got robbed of his stuff.
Hello, who
he's gonna
dis?
call him.
No, I'm not busy. Yeah. Is
Yeah,
Siobhan
that's
gonna
all.
be in
Thank
the
you,
room?
Whitlock.
Yeah, I'll get that done.
We already talked with her in the room. I didn't just want
Yeah, I know you want the GSR in the evidence, and it's technically in the evidence, but they can't see it.
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. All right, how we doing?
Not bad, not bad. And looking forward to this case. This will be an interesting one. My recollection of this one is that there's not a whole lot of wiggle room as far as the facts of the case. I don't think either side is necessarily contesting the facts of the case, which is good. Of course, there's always room for them to contest it, but I think for the most part, the contesting is going to be like a legal argument regarding the legal responsibility of a person committing a felony, and sort of our side will just be kind of pushing, the felony murder rule, and they're going to be trying to point out all the arguments against the felony murder rule, which there are plenty.
Yeah.
I think they're going to try to paint the picture of, hey, this is a slippery slope. They're probably going to say things like, oh, if you allow this, then anytime someone even picks up a friend on the side of the road, that person might be charged with terrorism if that person did terrorism before that and the police were chasing them or something. But we're going to try to push that this, although this could be used, in such a way that, people who didn't commit anything violent could be charged with violent crimes like murder. Let's not forget the facts of this case, that the suspect was armed to the teeth with illegal weaponry, including he had a Glock 17 with a drum mag and a shotgun with a suppressor. Like, this guy was fitted out for war. They shot an officer. They shot at multiple officers. There's bullet casings, GSR tests and stuff. And as a result, the people that they knowingly, premeditatedly committed this crime with died. So that's why we're pushing it the way that we are, because they either knew or should have known that what they were doing was going to result in somebody's death. And I feel like that death is not the responsibility of the police. That death is the responsibility of people who carried out the act.
Right. Oh, God damn it. I'm updating,
What was that?
Your Honor, I'm updating 1330 with the pictures from the arrest reports, given that you can't modify the arrest reports.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. The investigation's in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 1330. Okay, perfect.
So I'll put all the pictures there. That was the forensics investigation from the scene, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Collected by Hightower. The arrest reports are really what we'll be referencing to, given that has your report and the actual evidence of the crime. But the defense can't enter or look into the evidence lockers.
Oh yeah, this was from. This one actually does have a photo of the weapon seized, so I believe the contents of the evidence locker are in the photo called "Weapon Seized from Bob Coolidge." Of course, you can't see the
perfect.
attachments, but at least you can see those are the weapons. And I believe in my debrief I mentioned the attachments on them. So
Okay. I'm mainly talking for like the GSR test.
oh, fair enough. Oh right, yeah. Do I not have the GSR test in there?
It's in there, but from just looking at it in the locker, you have to examine it a little closer to see if it was positive or negative. Who and when
Yeah,
it
I
was
wish.
taken.
Yeah, I wish there was a better way to do that. Because as a cop,
Yeah.
I mean, I take the test, I put it positive, I put it in a locker.
Yeah, I mean
I
you
say
can,
it was positive,
but you can label it whatever you want, right? But
yeah, I could label it like positive test.
yeah,
They also don't have names on them. Did you notice that? They don't have a name on them.
yeah,
So I could, like, if I was a corrupt cop, I could be walking around with a pocket full of positive GSR tests, just passing them out like candy. They got a date on them, but I mean, you'd have to look closely to know.
that'd be the thing, right?
Yeah, but if every day I signed on duty, I just shot a gun in the back of PD and picked up the casings, put them in my pocket.
Or
I could go
before
around
you
every person I don't like, I could toss it in your pocket and be like, "Hey, there you go."
before you process
did that.
them, yeah, you could just do that because then the time would match.
Time would approximately match. You could do. It's just. I like to make sure there's other cops around, and make sure you take a picture before you touch it because holy shit, there's so much potential for bad things.
It's a
Hey,
mess.
look.
Hey.
I hear swear people in for me.
Yeah, I could do that.
Thank you.
Or 6101. Whoops. Oops. God damn it. So yeah, my questioning will just lay the foundation, walk you through your statement, and then at the end, I'll bring up those questions of why you were charging them with murder, what your expectation of that is, etc. Okay. If that works. You think that's a fair argument?
Sure, I'm whispering here. So you're saying you're gonna ask me for like a debrief of what I saw, and then my opinion on why they should be charged with it?
Or why you did charge them with it? Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay.
Last couple of days, I've been looking up like sort of legal arguments for and against the felony murder rule. I didn't realize until recently that it's far from actually a universally accepted legal argument. There are many jurisdictions that accept it. There are many that don't accept it. So it's really on a case-by-case basis in terms of if the judge is going to hear that argument out. And the biggest arguments that usually get tossed out are when they're applied to situations where the person being accused of it or being charged with it didn't commit any kind of violence, and the defense attorney was able to produce some sort of reasonable, deniability that they might have even been aware that it was going to lead to something violent. Whereas the cases where it usually sticks is when the person did commit some kind of violence in the process of doing the crime, or there was explicit information proving that they had knowledge that something violent was going to happen. A text message saying, let's go murk this guy, or, stuff like that. The person also being strapped with an illegal gun. It's like, okay, well, you were also, loading a gun with you. So you were planning on shooting if it came to that. In this case, it's all the above. He's got multiple violent, like, class 2 weapons. Well, he had one shotgun and one pistol with a drum magazine. Like,
well, he had a grenade, so.
He had grenades. He had class 1, 2, and 3 weapons, or whatever you call it, a grenade, I don't know.
Which he has pled guilty to all of that.
I was going to ask you about that. I get a lot of people in the cells pleading guilty to some charges and not guilty to others, or no contest to this one, but guilty to that.
I don't know
why. Do we
why
entertain that, or?
We do. I don't know why defense lawyers are letting people do that, though.
Yeah.
because that is a perfect way to torpedo your case before it even happens. Especially given the criminal possession of all of those weapons, proving at least some sort of intent that they expected to get into a firefight or some sort of altercation with somebody. It just happened to be the police. So, I mean, it's, yeah. If I were when I was a defense attorney, I would always plead not guilty to everything, no matter what. Even if it's possession, even if, yeah, they did have that shit on them, you still plead not guilty just to at least have some sort of deniability for, like, the intent charges related to, like, violence.
I just realized I don't even see any of the pictures of the dead people. I thought I had a... Did I put it in my debrief or something? I had a autopsy report for the dead guy, but I mean, it's just so...
It says it's available on requests in your statement, but yeah, it's not in the actual report.
I don't know what happened with that. Is it linked? Hang on, maybe I see some linked reports here. Maybe it's one of these. This one is just Hightower arresting someone. Dave Cartel. Yeah, I had the privilege of escorting the two decedents to the morgue and overseeing the autopsy. So I was very much expecting to charge them with the crimes because I mean, in my law enforcement career, criminals die sometimes. It happens, but I used to going to the morgue with them. If they're not going to make it out of the morgue because they're gone, they're going into the thing forever. Then I make sure to document their possessions, make sure there's any way to notify next of kin, and absolutely make a criminal report of which they are the suspect, indicate that they did die, and I absolutely charge them with the crime. I don't just let somebody just off on a crime because they died during the commission of it. They're still charged with the crime, and if there's jail time or fines attached to it, whatever, it gets charged to their estate. But in this case, I followed these two guys to the morgue, and then they sent them off into the incinerator, and I tried to save the report, and the report would not save because the people that I was trying to save the report against were like ashes at that point. So there's no way to save the report. And I was like, I put so much work into that report. I wrote paragraphs and paragraphs, and there's pictures of the bodies and everything, and it all just went up in smoke along with their bodies in the incinerator. So I was pretty pissed off, and then I went back to PD, and this guy Coolidge was there, and I was like, all right, well, at least I'll hang my hat on that. I'll try to book this guy at least.
Mm-hmm.
Frustrating day. It was one of my first big cases since coming to this department.
Yeah, no, this is a pretty big one. Precedent setting. Potentially, I could see this just being a contextual charge every time. But
yeah, I could see it going either way, really.
No. 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 With shotguns and armed with rifle and grenade. but also for the deaths of 2 of his.
The first row is reserved for his parents, right? Is that how this works?
They're
Oh. No jokes. Damn.
Wow.
God damn it.
Today is contesting that the fault for their deaths lies with the remaining
These fucking benches for giants. What's going on here?
individuals.
Got me over here swinging my fucking feet like I'm a toddler.
Why or why not? A legal gun.
All right, is Bob here?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, perfect. Is that you, Bob?
Yeah.
With the full set of hair?
Yeah, it sure is.
DNA test him. It might not be him.
Oh God, there's so much smoke. It's hard to tell.
Don't worry about it.
It is a lot of smoke.
Just
All right.
enjoying a nice cigar.
All right, with that we can start then. Our state, do you are waiting on anyone at all?
Nope, state is ready, Your Honor.
All right, defense, you ready?
We are ready, Your Honor.
All right. With that, I'm gonna go through each single charge and see if you find yourself guilty or not guilty. Bob, do you how do you plead to 4 times accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee?
Not guilty.
How do you plead to 2 times second-degree murder?
Not guilty.
How do you plead to criminal possession of explosives?
Guilty.
How do you plead to resisting?
Not guilty.
How do you plead to trespassing?
Not guilty.
How do you plead to criminal possession of a firearm?
Guilty.
How do you plead to criminal possession of weapon attachments?
Guilty.
All right, with that, we're contesting trespassing, resisting, second-degree murder, and accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee. And with that, state opening.
Thank you, Your Honor. Today we're here for what on its surface appears to be a typical case involving a shooting between suspects and officers. What causes this case to be different, Your Honor, is the deaths of 2 of the 4 suspects involved in this incident. One of those suspects, Mr. Coolidge, is in court today. He is in court not only for the attempt to shoot at officers with shotguns and armed with rifle and grenade, but also for the deaths of 2 of his accomplices. These individuals were killed on scene as a result of the firefight that ensued with police, and as such, the state today is contesting that the fault for their deaths lies with the surviving individuals. One of these individuals pled guilty. The other is here today. As such, Your Honor, we ask the court, please consider the evidence and the arguments made today and to find the defendant guilty on all charges. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. We have a crime scene here today that 4+ officers at least responded to. I think there was probably more than that. We have one written statement. We have a single witness here today. And that written statement doesn't say a word about the defendant until he arrived in jail. What it does say is that the deputy here was very busy in a shootout with a man who died during the scene. It's unclear what he possibly could have paid close attention to while in that shootout. I'm actually very curious to see what is going to be testified here today, given the complete lack of information in the report. Regarding the second-degree murders of the people that the police shot, what the state is essentially trying to allege here is a felony murder theory. That is a statutory theory that some jurisdictions have. Some jurisdictions do not. The state of San Andreas does not have a felony murder theory. Those charges, frankly, should just be dismissed out of hand. There is no theory of law in this jurisdiction that allows this defendant to be guilty of what for murders that or for shootings that the police have conducted. This is literally the first time I have ever even heard it mentioned in this jurisdiction, but that's not what's important. What is important is there is no statute or written authority for that occurring. Jurisdictions that do allow this do so because there is a statute that creates this type of crime.
Where is a written defense?
Regarding Mr. Coolidge being an accomplice to attempting to shoot police officers, again, I'm very curious what evidence there will be today because there's not much in the report. The other thing that I am very perked up my ears about, the state just said there's 4 suspects to the scene. 2 are dead. Obviously, one of them is Mr. Coolidge here. I've never heard of this 4th suspect. Your honor might note that I begged on the docket for information or reports relating to this scene, and now I'm hearing that there's a guilty plea for somebody else. Hey, dog, it's been a fucking minute. How you been, bro? I will be very interested in getting that report and seeing what it says. Obviously, apparently after this trial, because whatever's in that report, it is likely to be a massive discovery violation and potentially a Brady violation. It's hard to say prior to seeing that report what use it could have been. Focusing on what we can handle right now today before us, felony murder is not a thing here. There's insufficient evidence on the other contested charges, and I think trial is going to show that to the court. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. And with that, state, you may proceed.
Sure. State will call Deputy Jack Ripley to stand.
Where is that, Your Honor?
Damn it, they changed everything here. It used to be the chair and it used to be right here. Hold on, I can move it.
We'll get married. There's an extra chair over here. Someone die or someone get married today? What's this cowboy?
All right, let's put this right here. Yeah. All right, you can sit in that chair right there, Ripley.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, perfect.
Hey, Deputy Ripley, can you please raise your right arm?
Yes, sir.
Do you solemnly swear that you would tell the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, so help you gosh darn it?
Gosh darn it, I do.
Your Honor, this witness has been sworn in.
All right, perfect. Go ahead, state.
All right, let's start. Can you state your name and rank for the record?
My name is Deputy Jack Ripley.
And about how long have you been a peace officer?
I've been a police officer for going on 7 years. Just joined this sheriff's department in December.
Were you on duty on January 21st?
I was.
All right. This time I'd like to direct the witness to report 6101, the arrest report.
All right.
And Deputy Ripley, are you familiar with this arrest report?
I am familiar with this report. I wrote it.
Okay. Who is this arrest report about?
This is the arrest report for one Bob Coolidge.
Why did you write arrest report for Bob Coolidge?
I wrote an arrest report for Bob Coolidge because of his involvement in a shootout at Humane Labs, in which case multiple officers were shot and several suspects
narrative
died.
Dude, that's dope, bro. Bro, Onyx, you hear this shit? Like, this guy shot cops, bro.
I'm gonna overrule it. It's not that long, to be honest with you. He's just giving a statement of why he wrote it. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant, kind of. I mean, he wrote it, right? I'm just gonna overrule it. You can continue, Ripley.
Yeah, that was pretty much the end of what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Just that it was a shootout at Humane Labs in which officers were shot and 2 of the suspects died.
Okay. Did you respond to this incident?
I did respond, yes.
Okay. At what point did you respond to this incident?
I was called as backup after Deputy Foley arrived and realized that it was more than a simple trespassing call, that there was people with what appeared to be shotguns shooting.
Okay. Did anything happen while you were responding to this incident?
As I got close to the scene, I was asking Deputy Foley to relay information so we knew
Objection
what's
calls
going
for
on.
narrative and is now also weaving in hearsay from another officer.
It's not hearsay. It's a immediate description of the scenes and the events on scene, which is an exception to the hearsay rule.
Well, and confrontation clause.
I think it was pretty narrative-y, so I will sustain that. I think you can get there with questions.
Okay. While you were driving to scene, did you receive any radio traffic?
I did.
Who did you receive radio traffic from?
From Deputy Foley.
And what did they say to you?
Objection confrontation clause as to what he was told by someone who's not here.
That's not an objection. And
Hey.
also, again, if you're trying to object to hearsay, it's an immediate description of the scenes and the events happening on scene over the radio. That's an exception to the hearsay clause.
May I rebut, Your Honor?
Yep, go for it.
I'm not raising a hearsay objection. I'm raising a Sixth Amendment confrontation clause objection that he has a right to confront his accusers. If they're going to put in testimonial statements from a witness, he needs to be present.
I can rebut to
I
that.
mean, he's just responding to Foley's call, and he's not describing what he's calling. So I'm gonna overrule it. He can't say what Foley said to him, well, because he can't, fight it. But I think he's fine with the question that he's doing right now. But I understand where you're coming from, and I'll watch out for it.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You can re-ask it again if Ruby doesn't remember.
The last question that was read was, what did they say in reference to Deputy Foley?
I see. Okay, so for Deputy Foley, he was indicating that he saw people in the parking lot with what appeared to be shotguns in hand, and they were shooting.
Okay. And then once you were responding to the scene, or I guess once you arrived at the scene, what did you see?
I had begun searching the parking lot. I saw people running around with what appeared to be shotguns in hand. I asked Deputy Foley for more information, but he was not able to respond. We got a officer down report right at that time.
Okay, and did you see anybody?
I did. I saw an individual running past me.
Did you attempt to detain them?
I did. I informed him that he needed to stop where he was and put his hands up. He didn't appear to have a weapon in hand, so I didn't shoot, but I believed that he was one of the armed suspects.
Okay. Did he comply then?
He did not comply. He continued running past me. I grabbed a couple other deputies and gave chase.
And what happened next?
He ran behind a bush, obscuring his vision, our vision rather, of him, produced a firearm, and tried to shoot me and the two other officers I was with.
Okay. Was this individual apprehended?
He was. Thankfully, he missed. I drew my firearm and did not miss. He dropped, and we took him into custody on the spot. Unfortunately, he did not survive his injury.
And what was this individual's name?
I didn't know his name at the time, but later on at the morgue, I discovered that his name was Jace Unborn.
Okay. Was this the only person that was on scene?
No, there were several other individuals on scene.
Who else was on scene?
I'm aware that another suspect died on the other side of the parking lot that I didn't see, but I did see him at the morgue.
Objection if you didn't see it to personal knowledge.
What was the objection?
He lacks personal knowledge of what he's testifying to.
I mean, he's one of the officers involved in the incident and obviously found out about it later.
There needs to be foundation for how he found out.
I see what you're saying. Can you read it off to me again, Blake?
Yes, the question was who else was on scene? The response was someone, there was another person, someone died on the other side of the parking lot.
I feel... Are you getting there?
In my question?
Whitlock?
Or...
Yeah.
Oh, you're asking Whitlock, sorry.
I mean, yeah, I can get there, Your Honor.
I think he can get there pretty easily, so I'm going to overrule it. But you have to get there.
All right. Do you want him to answer the question again, or?
Yeah, he can answer it again, just to make sure.
Okay. And the question was there anyone else on the scene?
Who else was on scene?
Who else was on scene? Okay. I'm aware of two other suspects were on the scene. One of them died on the other side of the parking lot.
Okay. And how did you hear about these other individuals?
When I transported Jace Unborn to the morgue, the other suspect that died was also already there. His name was John Neville.
Were you the one responsible then for both of them at the morgue?
I took custody of their possessions and took information so next of kin could be notified.
Was an autopsy performed on these individuals?
Yes, they were autopsied and then ushered to the incinerator.
To your knowledge, do you know if a cause of death was given?
Yes, time of death was called, and the cause of death was ruled to be gunshot wounds. Loss of blood by gunshot wounds.
Okay. Following the morgue, did you encounter the defendant again?
After I left the morgue, I saw Mr. Coolidge at Blaine County Sheriff's Office.
Objection, not facts, not in evidence. There's no reference to encountering Mr. Coolidge previously.
Is the report not in evidence?
He's saying that it's not written in the report. I don't think it needs to be written. He's here to do his testimony.
I see. It's my report.
It wasn't in his testimony either, I believe is the point he's making.
I'm still testifying. I'm not done with my testimony.
He's testifying right now. I'm gonna overrule it. He doesn't have to write down every single thing he's doing in the report. As long as it goes to court and he testifies it, it's more than enough. You can continue, Whitlock.
All right. Was the defendant involved in this scene?
Yes, the suspect was arrested at the scene with the firearm, GSR positive.
Okay. Did you take the GSR test?
I did.
And you had indicated it was positive, correct?
Correct. It is in evidence.
Yeah, I'll reference to, obviously you can see it in the evidence locker, but 6101 GSR test in report 1330. Okay, and what was the defendant charged with at this point?
Mr. Coolidge was charged with the crimes of trespassing for being present at the Humane Labs. It is not a government facility, so it's not felony trespassing, so we went with just regular trespassing. He was charged with resisting attempts to take him into custody. He was charged with attempting to murder 4 of the officers who tried to take him into custody by way of shooting his firearm at them. He was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, 1 for each of the decedents. He was charged with 1 possession of a firearm charge and a possession of weapons attachments charge. Because the firearms had attachments on them, which are also in evidence. He was finally charged with possession of explosives due to having a hand grenade on him.
Okay, and are you aware of which officers were on scene?
As I sit before you today, I remember Foley being there and Under Sheriff Walker. I'm sure once the shots started flying, every cop in the state of San Andreas ended up showing up.
Okay.
I know Hightower was with me. I remember Deputy Sharp being there.
Were there any forensics taken from the scene?
I don't have any first-hand knowledge of the forensics that was collected at the scene. I believe we did have a deputy go there, but I was busy with Mr. Coolidge at the BCSO.
Okay. Did Mr. Coolidge kill anybody during this incident?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Why then is he charged with second-degree murder?
I decided to push that charge because I did not believe that the police were responsible for the deaths of those 2 men. I believed that Mr. Coolidge was, due to his knowing involvement in the violent crime.
Objection to the speculation as to his knowing involvement. He can't testify as to what Mr. Coolidge knew.
Any rebuttals to that, Whitlock, at all?
Yeah, I mean, he's making his determination based on finding somebody at the scene, GSR positive, with multiple weapons. I think it's more than adequate to assume that they were all working together. I said assume. I shouldn't have said that.
Anything to say about that at all?
His answer required using the word assume, which is what the officer is doing when he's testifying as to Mr. Coolidge's knowledge.
I'll note it down. I'll overrule it, but I understand where you're coming from. I'll note that for me, Blake.
Yes.
Deputy Ripley, was there any evidence that showed these individuals were working together?
They were all at the same location in close proximity, participating in a gunfight. I believe they were armed pretty similarly as well. Not
Objection
only
to the facts not
go ahead.
as to close proximity.
The Humane Labs.
Sorry, what did
Or
you
being
object to?
similarly armed.
You kind
Yeah,
I
you cut
apologize,
out.
Your Honor.
yeah, you cut out.
I said facts not in evidence as to close proximity. We have not established where who was, which is kind of important.
I mean, okay.
Okay. Rebuttal at all?
I would argue finding them at Humane Labs, again, the scene that hasn't been contested to this point, the scene that Deputy Ripley responded to, and the scene where individuals were arrested from. That's not a common place to be, Your Honor. And as such, I mean, that's close proximity in this case. I would argue Humane Labs as a location, that is close proximity.
May I rebut?
Yep.
I would just say that if they want to be specific about who was where inside the labs, where inside the labs, outside the labs, where outside the labs, that would be one thing. Close proximity is just saying close proximity is very different.
All right. I mean, I think you reword it, Whitlock. I think it's pretty easy.
Okay. Deputy Ripley, do you know where Bob Coolidge was arrested?
In the same parking lot with the other suspects.
Okay. And where is this parking lot located?
Oh, it's the parking lot at Humane Labs. Mm-hmm.
Perfect. All right. Let's see. Did you question the defendant at all?
I did. I booked him.
What questions did you ask to him?
He was read his rights. I believe he was. I asked him if he knew that his friends were dead. I forget what he said. I didn't ask him too. I believe I asked him where he got the weaponry from. I didn't get any kind of answer out of him for that. That's pretty high-end weaponry. Not stuff we see on the streets very often.
Trying to think. Just one moment, Your Honor. Trying to think. Where do we go from here? Blake, would you mind reading the last 3 questions?
Yes. Just the questions or the answers as well?
Oh, the answers as well, please.
Okay. Deputy Ripley, do you know where the defendant was arrested? The parking lot with the other suspects. What parking lot? The parking lot at Humane Labs. Did you question defendant at all? Yes, I booked him. What questions? He was read his rights. I believe I asked him if he knew his friends were dead. I forgot what he said. I asked where he got his weaponry. It's not stuff we see on the streets, but he did answer.
Okay. I don't believe I had any more questions for this witness.
All right. Defense?
Your Honor, we definitely have cross. May I confer with my co-counsel briefly?
Yep, go for it.
It's a little loosey-goosey. But, I don't know. It's more of a legal argument than a... Right? Because he was arrested on scene. He's GSR positive. He already pled guilty to having the weapons, including a shotgun. I do think, wish I would have looked into who actually arrested him on scene, because that should have been a witness. And that's another my bad.
I'm prepared to begin cross-examination, Your Honor.
Yep, go for it.
Hello, Deputy. Just a few questions for you.
Out of there, sir.
Did you take the defendant's GSR at BSO?
Did I take the GSR? I don't recall where exactly the test occurred. It was in the aftermath of the shooting, though.
Roughly how many police officers were on scene?
At what point? At one point, there was only 2 cops. At one point, there were probably 15.
I would say during the shooting and the immediate aftermath, like the next 5-10 minutes.
Okay. Well, Foley was the only officer on the scene initially. Then he got shot and went down. I showed up with Under Sheriff Walker and Deputy Hightower and Deputy Sharp. So we were there. After that's when we started coming into contact with the people running away from Foley's body. And then over the next 5 minutes, a gunfight erupted, which drew another 12 or so cops from around the state. Piecemeal, bit by bit. 2 here, 3 there, 1 there.
Sure. How many of those officers wrote a written statement about this incident?
I don't know. Our MDT doesn't work that way.
Are you aware if any other officers wrote statements about this incident?
I'm sure there were a couple, yeah. I only booked Mr. Coolidge, so that's the only that's the only statement in my report.
How many other officers were called to testify here today?
You can see that side of the... it's just me, right?
I understand, but I can't give evidence.
Oh, right, okay. Only me, sir, only me.
Thank you.
Of course, of course.
How many wrote down that they saw Bob Coolidge fire a gun?
Can you repeat that question? You cut out.
I apologize, Your Honor. How many police officers wrote down a statement saying Bob Coolidge fired a gun?
I don't know. I only really know about my own statement.
Are you aware whether any officers wrote down Bob Coolidge spoke to another suspect on scene?
Objection, speculation.
I asked if he's aware.
Yeah, I'll overrule it. I want to hear him.
If our MDT allowed those reports to all come together, I would have the answer to that question, but I only know what's in my report. Our system doesn't let us see other police officers' reports. I don't know the answer to that question.
Did you personally witness Bob Coolidge speak to any of the other suspects?
Speak? I can't really answer that. He was outside of my... I couldn't hear if he was talking to them. He was near enough to them that he could have heard them.
When you say he was near enough, did you personally recognize Bob Coolidge on scene during the shootout?
Not until later. I saw him, but I didn't know it was Bob Coolidge until I saw him later in the cells wearing the same clothes.
Was Bob Coolidge on a radio with the other suspects?
I don't know.
Do any shell casings come back as to Bob Coolidge from the scene?
That's not how shell casings work. I can't answer that question. I have no idea what shell casing any gun came out of. We have no way to analyze that.
Were Bob Coolidge's fingerprints on anything on the scene other than things found specifically in his possession?
To my knowledge, there were casings that matched the gun in his possession. As far as caliber, I can't answer that as far as fingerprints.
Is Bob Coolidge in a gang with any of the other suspects?
Objection relevance.
They're Mayor Butt.
Yep.
They're charging him as an accomplice. His association with these other people, I believe, is relevant.
Not in this state. If you're in a group and you get into something, you still consider it an accomplice, whether you're in a gang or not.
Mayor Butt, Your Honor, why that? Not what you're saying, but as to why that's not what I'm going towards. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
What I'm trying to work towards is what knowledge the police have that he was with that group. So I'm looking for other evidence, trying to establish whether there was other evidence that he is even associated with the other people on scene at the time he was on scene.
What was the question again, Blake?
Oops.
The question was: is the defendant in a gang with the other suspects?
Yeah, I think you could probably get there, but without that question, I'm just saying it.
Oh, thank you, Your Honor. I'll rephrase. How have you seen Mr. Coolidge interact with the other suspects on that scene directly?
Okay. I personally saw him running around in the parking lot with them, dressed similarly to them, and armed similarly in terms of very high-class weaponry.
When you say dress similarly, could you describe that dress?
I would describe it as black tactical.
Did they have masks on?
They did at the time that the shooting unfolded, yes.
So when you say you saw Bob Coolidge doing things, you're saying you saw a man in a mask?
Well, he was wearing a mask at that time, yes, but we did see him later at the police station wearing those same clothes. He wasn't wearing a uniform that was, the same as the others. They were just wearing the same style of stuff. Black-type army boots, cargo-type pants, various things like that. But they had some flair to be a little bit different from each other.
So, but specifically on scene, you're saying you saw people with masks doing something?
Yes, yeah.
And then at BCSO, you saw people without masks who were wearing similar clothes?
Well, once they were at BCSO, we took the masks off them, yes.
Do you know...
They didn't have the masks on anymore at that point.
I understand.
Okay.
If there are a bunch of people running around with masks on, how do you know which person with a mask is which person at the jail, specifically?
Based on the other clothing that they were wearing. We take the mask off, but they'll still have the same jacket.
I'll just keep
button,
letting them answer.
Top button unbuttoned. The little things that are different about them will be, we can say, oh, that was you, and that was the other guy. Besides, two of them were dead, so it wasn't that hard.
What specific things like buttons did you notice on scene about Mr. Coolidge?
At the time, I was more concerned about the weaponry and the shooting of the deputy. I can't really tell you about any individual thing that caught my eye.
Was anybody inside the lab at some point of this incident?
Objection, speculation. He has attested that all of the defendants were arrested in the parking lot and seen in the parking lot. There's no mention of going inside.
Yeah. It's not speculation. I'm asking him if he knows. If it has personal knowledge. Were there people inside?
It's more relevance, I guess, but
I'm gonna sustain it because I think there's a better way you can actually ask this question.
How many people were found on scene that weren't police officers?
How many in total were found? I came across 3. There may have been other people on scene that other officers treated and dealt with differently. It's difficult to know. Our MDT is very limited scope.
Was anybody other than an officer taken to the hospital from the scene?
I did not go to the hospital. Well, actually, I went to the morgue. So I went with Mr. Unborn, as I mentioned earlier.
Did TACMED come to the scene for anybody other than officers?
Yes, TACMED did get called to the scene. In fact, they tried to help Mr. Unborn, and I followed them with his body.
Did they try to help anybody else that you're aware of?
They looked like they were quite busy, so yeah, I imagine they were running around trying to save lives.
Did you see anybody, officer or otherwise, go inside the lab?
I didn't personally have... I was more to the right side of the parking lot, so I couldn't really see the 2 garage doors that go into the lab, so I can't... I did not, personally, no.
Are you aware of whether any evidence was taken from inside the lab?
I am not personally aware of any evidence that was taken from inside the lab, no.
Were any DNA samples or blood samples taken from the scene?
Not by me personally, no.
Was Mr. Coolidge taken to the hospital?
He, I believe, was shot at the scene, so I met up with him at the Blaine County Sheriff's Office in the cells. He seemed to be hale and hearty, so I would imagine that, yes, he must have been treated at a hospital to be in such good shape after being shot, yeah.
While in a shootout with Mr. Unborn, how much attention were you paying to other events at the scene?
Well, you just sort of hit the nail on the head right there with the question. I mean, while I was in the shootout with Mr. Unborn, my focus was 100% on Mr. Unborn at that moment.
Ouch.
Does your department typically take blood samples or DNA samples from locations of bodies?
Sometimes yes, sometimes no.
What would lead to them doing so?
Depends if they believe there's a crime that occurred. It's usually an investigative tool to try to track down whose blood it belonged to. Especially if there's an outstanding suspect or somebody is unaccounted for.
Could it be used to determine where somebody's body was found?
Could be, yeah. If there's for some reason there's some doubt about that, it could be used for that. Yes.
I believe those are my questions, Your Honor, but I want to confer real briefly to see if my co-counsel has any.
Yeah, no problem.
Bum 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 bum.
No further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
All right. Recross.
Deputy Ripley.
Uh-huh.
Do you have to fire a weapon to be GSR positive?
Objection scope.
We've specifically brought up the GSR test multiple times on both direct and across.
Any rebuttals of that?
I didn't think it was brought up on cross.
If I recall, the only question on cross was a GSR taken at BSTSO? I think was the cross question.
Yeah, I think that's the only one. I agree that I can remember. He find anything, Blake, with that?
Yep, that was his first question on cross. No other references to GSR.
Yeah, I'm gonna sustain it then.
Okay. Let's see. No. I then do not have any other questions, Your Honor.
All right. But the Ripley can step down.
Yes, sir.
Cover that in closing.
Anything else, State?
No. Evidence will be highlighted in closing, Your Honor. The state will rest at this time.
All right. With that, defense?
I think, Your Honor, I need to confer with co-counsel and the defendant about whether we'll be calling him.
Yep, no problem.
All right. What do you think? We get everything, or did I miss something?
Seemed pretty good to me. I mean, I don't know if this... I've never met this particular defense attorney before. He seems to be really trying to throw everything out there, which is what a good defense attorney should be trying to do, so...
Yeah, they
play,
all they all do it like that, yeah.
It seems like he wants, like, 16 cops to be here, and, like, a
Yeah.
bunch of cops to be attached to the report, and, like, every other arrest to be somehow...
No,
seeable
every-
in my arrest report. I'm trying to keep expressing
Every
I'd
defense
love that.
attorney in the state doesn't know that they can call witnesses, I feel like,
Yeah, yeah.
if they want to contest things on a report.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I get what he's saying. It's frustrating to see Ripley's word. Where's the other cops backing him up? But I would love that more than anybody. I would love to have an MDT where I could write the report, and I could let the other 16 cops know, hey, just put a paragraph in there about something, and they could just open it up and... But we can't. We don't live in that world. We got 4 suspects on a scene, and we have to have 4 different fucking reports for them. I don't even know what the 4th guy... I mean, I know there's Coolidge, Unborn, and Neville. If there's a 4th suspect, I don't even know who they are, so...
There was somebody arrested by Hightower that was, what's his name? Dave Cartel?
Oh, that's right, Dave Cartel. Yep. See, that's another thing is his name's not in my report, I don't think, or at least I don't remember it.
It's linked
So
in
stuff like
the
that, it's all-
investigation. I don't know what they
Yeah,
were
you gotta-
talking about at Brady.
Yeah, you gotta like link to one thing and then link to the other. It's a very confusing little rabbit hole you gotta go through. It's just not.
Yeah.
I'm just not a big fan of it. You know, it's just I like information to be readily available, readily accessible, easy to enter, easy to view. But this is just so compartmentalized, and I mean, if it wasn't for the template that Pond made, it would look even. It would just be even worse. It's just.
Yeah.
Ugh. Caca poo poo.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying.
But yeah, as far as our case that we pushed forth, I think we did what we set out to do, which was set the table for the scene, let them know that it was a chaotic scene, people were shooting.
Yeah.
He was in the parking lot with the other people. I mean, we made it clear that he had grenades and stuff.
Do you know who actually apprehended him on scene?
I do not. I do not.
Okay.
I showed
Yeah,
up
that
at
would.
the BCSO after losing 2 suspects to the incinerator, pissed
Yeah.
off, and
Yeah.
I found Hightower in the cells with Cartel and Coolidge, and he looked at me and said, "Oh, Ripley, do you want to help me with?" I mean, I got stuck with 2. Isn't that just typical? You show up at a scene with like 16 cops, 2 cops end up with 4 suspects, then the other 14
Yeah, the other-
fuck off and
Thank
go
you,
to
Your
the
Honor. At this time, I believe we're calling the defendant Bob Coolidge to the stand.
All right.
Interesting.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay.
Okay, if you can raise your right hand for me.
Mhm.
Do you solemnly swear that you will tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth under the pains and penalties of perjury, so help you gosh darn it?
So help me, gosh darn it.
Okay, Your Honor, this witness has been sworn in.
All right. Go ahead, defense.
Sir, do you recall whether you were shot on January 21st?
I do, yes.
Were you shot?
Yes.
Where were you shot?
At Humane Labs, in the back room, down by the water.
Inside?
Correct.
Do you recall what the person who shot you looked like?
He was wearing a black mask and black clothing.
Do you recall who took you out of the lab?
A female officer carried me out of the lab to the front.
Were you incapacitated when you were shot?
I was in and out, yeah.
I believe I have no further questions. I'm just going to confer very briefly with co-counsel.
Can we ask him questions like why did he have
No
grenades?
further questions for this witness, Your Honor.
Right, state.
Okay. Mr. Coolidge, why were you at Humane Labs?
Objection scope.
I mean, that's within the scope 100%. He said he was in the Humane Labs. You can ask that. I'll roll it.
Repeat the question.
Why were you at Humane Labs?
I was out for a swim and saw some fishy stuff going in there, so I went in.
Were you there by yourself?
Objection scope.
It sort of revolves around him being there. I think you can answer that question pretty easily. I'll roll it.
Repeat it.
Were you there by yourself?
Yes.
Would he shoot himself or something?
Okay. This individual you claim shot you, what did they look like again?
Black mask and black clothing.
Did they say anything to you?
They said some stuff. I don't really recollect any specific thing they said, but they said some stuff before they shot me, yeah.
Did you try to defend yourself?
Objection scope.
We'll let Rudy cook.
Give me a second.
Let him cook. They want to keep it as tight as they can, which I respect, because they have their client on the stand. But I would think that the actions of... They talked about him getting shot, so I would think...
You have rebuttal at all?
Yeah, we under direct he answered questions about being shot and being shot by this alleged person, and then even answered that he did in fact talk to this person before he was shot. I'm trying to establish whether or not he did anything else during this interaction.
Yep, I agree. He opened up the scope through the scope. I overrule it.
Repeat the question again.
Did you try to defend yourself?
No.
Why not?
I didn't really have much of a chance. He said a few words and started shooting me, and I got shot.
Did he have a gun out when you first encountered him?
Correct.
And you didn't think to draw any of the 4 weapons you had on you?
Objection argumentative.
I mean, sustained.
All right.
Looks just are positive. So.
Did you shoot
Same
your
age.
firearm? Or did you
No.
shoot a firearm?
No.
That don't make no damn sense. He's GSR positive.
All right.
I would just point out in your closing that his testimony conflicts with the GSR positive test.
Yeah, we have no further questions for this witness.
All right, rebuttal. Recross, sorry.
Yeah, may I confer briefly with full counsel?
You don't see that
Yeah.
every day.
Well,
Someone
I
just
mean-
straight up saying, I didn't shoot, but they're GSR positive.
Yeah, I
That's
mean-
like trying to contest possession charges.
Or he's saying somebody put the gun in his hand and he shot while he was
I don't know what he's trying to say.
shot on the
exactly.
ground.
I would just point out, yeah, I mean, if we had a chance to do the closing arguments, I would just say, you know, we laid out our case, they laid out their case, you know. Their case seems to depend on their client claiming he never shot a gun, but the GSR positive test remains in evidence for all to see. So, I guess you'd have to weigh how much you can trust their testimony, seeing as it directly conflicts with hard evidence.
Yeah.
I mean, they do have a somewhat of an argument. I mean, I was on the other side of the parking lot. If they want to drop the attempted murder of a government employee times 4, I wouldn't cry myself to sleep over it. I'm not, the whole thing that I'm here for is to see if the state would be willing to entertain the notion of the felony murder rule for the 2 people that they don't seem to be contesting did actually die.
Yeah.
So-
I guess, well, yeah. I guess, though, if you drop the attempted murders, the felony murder rule doesn't apply then, does it? Because then...
He was he was still in possession of very
well,
active weapon
okay,
with
that's if you're
explosives.
arguing any felony
Yeah, I guess that would kind
versus
of
an
make it
ag
that,
felony, right?
Yeah, but I think we still have enough to support the attempted murder.
Yeah,
charges on
I
scene
agree.
with these
Thank you, Your Honor.
people
It's just one question.
with positive
Yeah.
GSR
Alright.
tests. Yeah, we could have done better. We could have gotten finger, you know.
Yeah.
Sir, did you fire your gun prior to going into the lab?
Yeah.
No further questions, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right. Hey, you can step down.
Yeah.
Anything else, defense?
No, Your Honor. We're just going to highlight evidence on close. I would like a couple minutes to confer and prepare it.
Yep. 5 minutes.
Is that where we're at, Your Honor?
Yep. We're
Thank you,
heading
Your
to
Honor.
closing in 5 minutes.
Let me first start with the questioning and evidence presented today. We have testimony from Deputy Ripley. A trespassing call, Humane Labs, turned into a shootout with police. It is true, Your Honor, that Deputy Ripley did not directly see or witness, did not directly arrest Mr. Coolidge on scene. In fact, Deputy Ripley is responsible for one of the... No, I don't want to say that. But we do have testimony that he was, in fact, arrested at Humane Labs. He was tested for GSR, of which he was found to be positive. While wearing similar clothing to the other individuals involved in this incident. He was tested for GSR, of which he was found to be positive. On cross, the defendant confidently stated that he did not fire his gun. Any of his weapons when confronted with someone blacked out in a mask carrying a firearm. Yet conveniently fuck, I can't spell. Conveniently when this conveniently, holy fuck, I can't spell, actually. When this is brought up, much I imagine to the horror of the defense. He states that he fired his weapon before this altercation. Extremely convenient, Your Honor.
All right. How much longer defense?
Can I just get like another minute or two?
Yep.
We'd like 2 or 3 minutes as well, Your Honor.
All right, we'll do 2 more minutes.
Hey, Timmy.
Hello. What's going on? How's it going?
Pretty good. We already wrapped up with all the testimony and stuff. Everyone's just getting ready for their closing statements.
Oh, nice. What case is this?
This is the Bob Coolidge case. What is it? It's in the archive. CR 6101. TLDR was it was a shooting at Humane Labs. 2 people died. This guy Coolidge did not kill those people. We're not even contesting that he directly killed them. But we're basically arguing the point that because they died in a shootout with police while they were doing a crime with this guy, he should be the one who's legally responsible for their deaths. So we charge him with 2 counts of second-degree murder for their deaths, and he's appealing it. So the outcome of this case could potentially set a precedence for San Andreas being or not being a felony murder rule state.
Ooh, okay, all right.
It's pretty juicy. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
were not directly killed by the defendant, but were, in fact, killed by the actions taken. Getting into a firefight with police is an action and a crime with a reasonable expectation that the consequence is the death of another. Are we to expect that 4 individuals dressed similarly, found in the same area, arrested in the same area, armed similarly, who all shot at police officers, were somehow doing so coincidentally? Once is an incident. Twice. One person maybe. But 4? But 4 total people? No, Your Honor. The state contests that this is not coincidental, and any doubt introduced by the defense is unreasonable. We asked today to find the defendant guilty given the evidence, the testimony provided. Thank you. Okay. I think that's enough. Hopefully.
All right, I think we've had long enough. Bench ready?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right, state.
Thank you, Your Honor. Let me first start with the questioning and evidence presented today. We have testimony from Deputy Ripley of a trespassing call at Humane Labs turned into a shootout with police. It is true, Your Honor, that Deputy Ripley did not directly arrest Mr. Coolidge on the scene. But we do have testimony that he was in fact arrested at Humane Labs while wearing similar clothing to the other individuals involved in this incident. He was tested for GSR, of which he was found to be positive. On cross, the defendant confidently stated that he did not fire any of his weapons when confronted with someone blacked out in a mask carrying a firearm. Yet conveniently, when this was brought up, Much, I imagine, to the horror of the defense, he states that he fired his weapon before this altercation. Extremely convenient, Your Honor. Extremely convenient. As for a legal argument, Your Honor, the defendant is charged for second-degree murder for the deaths of his compatriots Jason Bourne and John Neville. You will find their IDs and evidence, along with the weapons from the scene. These individuals were not directly killed by the defendant, but were in fact killed by the actions that he took. Getting into a firefight with the police is an action and a crime with a reasonable expectation that the consequence is the death of another. Are we to expect that 4 individuals dressed similarly, found in the same area, arrested in the same area, armed similarly, all shot at police officers, yet were somehow doing so coincidentally? One person, maybe, but 4 total people? No, Your Honor, the state contests that this is not coincidental, and any doubt introduced by the defense here today is unreasonable. We ask today to find the defendant guilty, given the evidence and the testimony provided. Thank you.
All right, defense.
Thank you, Your Honor. From the defense's perspective, this is not a complicated case, especially not evidentiary as to the evidence, because there really just isn't much of any of it. The state wants to focus on the fact that 2 people died and that 4 officers were apparently shot. That's obviously a tragedy. That has very little to do with the question in this case, though, because the question in this case is, what did Mr. Coolidge do, and what evidence has the state brought before the court that he did those? What is, in fact, tied to those other people? Regarding specifics, to begin with, the 2 counts of second-degree murder, which are not accomplice charges, the state needs to prove that he shot the 2 deceased. They're not even alleging that. They're alleging that he should be held responsible for the actions of police officers. There are some jurisdictions who have that written into their law. That is not written into the law here in the state of San Andreas. If they want to bring that up with the governor or whoever writes the laws, they can do that, and maybe that could be added to the law. It is not there today. He absolutely must be acquitted of the second-degree murder charges. He's being charged with a theory of law that does not exist here. Regarding the accomplice charges and what evidence the state actually has that he's an accomplice to these gentlemen, let's go over what the deputy, who's the only evidence in this case, really said, other than a brief snippet from Investigatory Report 1330. The Deputy Ripley testified that a large number of officers showed up on scene, that there was a long shootout. We have no reports from any of those other deputies other than a brief thought from Deputy Hightower and Deputy Ripley here. We don't have from any of the other 10 plus police officers that showed up eventually, or maybe the 5 or 6 core ones there. They're not here today. They didn't enter a written report. What Deputy Ripley also largely testified to was that he was in a shootout with one of the deceased and extremely distracted and unable to focus on what else was going on around him. He then also testified that everybody else that he did see had a black mask on, and that he could only have identified them later when they were at BCSO. He then further testified, while at one point he stated he was pretty sure that one of those people was on scene originally was Mr. Coolidge. When asked how he would identify who somebody was, link somebody who was seen on a scene in a mask with somebody in jail, he said normally he would pay attention to their differences in their clothing and things like that. But he then testified he did no such thing in relation to Mr. Coolidge. Meaning, by his own words, he had no way to determine who actually Mr. Coolidge was and was on scene. He completely contradicted his early testimony, linking Mr. Coolidge to being one of the people he witnessed outside. He only witnessed those people in a mask. He can only identify those people later at BCSO based on their clothing or through some other method. He then admitted that he had not done that in this case. There is actually zero evidence whatsoever that Mr. Coolidge was outside. There's no DNA evidence relating to where his body was. There's no officer testimony from the officer who actually presumably shot him, which you'd think they would have if that's actually what had occurred. There's no bullet casings with fingerprints from him. And on this note, I would draw the court's attention to 1330 investigative report 1330, there is a brief snippet in there from Deputy Hightower, who notes that in his opinion, the only people on scene with shotguns were the police and the deceased. He says that in there. Now, the reality is, under Mr. Coolidge's own testimony, he did have a shotgun. But the reason Deputy Hightower doesn't think he was on scene is because Deputy Hightower was looking at people outside, and as the defendant testified, he was inside, and frankly, already on the ground bleeding out prior to police arriving. Why? Because he was shot by the same people who then shot at police. And the police have done absolutely nothing to disprove that. What they have done is made it extremely difficult for the defense to prove otherwise. Apparently, there were a zillion police officers there. They largely have not been provided, they've provided no statements to the defense. We have no idea who actually took him out of there. Some officer who then took him to the hospital. There's actually zero evidence linking him to outside there now at this point. Once it's considered that the deputy has admitted he only saw people in masks, and then specifically admitted he had nothing to link one of those people with masks with the defendant in prison. That's any specific ask. There's no evidence that this man was on the radio with any of those people. And I promise you, Your Honor, if he had been on the radio, you would think the police would have taken that into evidence, but they didn't. Why isn't he on the radio with those people? Because he's not with those people. Is there any evidence whatsoever that he spoke with any of those people? Absolutely not, Your Honor. One moment.
Ooh.
Oh, I would also like to note that apparently what we learned in open is that there was a fourth suspect who's not mentioned anywhere, has not been mentioned to the defense. And I would note again that the defense moved multiple times to try to get all evidence from that scene. And now there's somebody else who's linked to this man, and presumably another police report. In fact, there has to be, because they said that that person pled guilty, that I have no awareness of. God only knows what's in there. It should have been provided to the defense. And it's not there. Just like there aren't statements from God knows how many other police officers here. The only evidence at all linking that is that Mr. Coolidge was there. He was inside of the lab. He was taken to the hospital because he was down inside of the lab. And then the first time Deputy Ripley comes into contact with him is at BCSO. That's the first time he has identified somebody as Mr. Coolidge specifically. If Your Honor, if they want to link Mr. Coolidge to what happened outside without any comments from him, without being on the radio with any of those people outside, they need to identify him as somebody who was outside. And I really, really want to highlight that the officer said, how would I figure out if I saw somebody outside and then they were then at BCSO? I would notice specific things about their clothing or how they talked or something like that. And then he specifically said he was too busy to do that. And then he went to the morgue. He doesn't know what those other dozen police officers did on scene. He doesn't know what evidence they collected as to other bodies, where they might have been. He doesn't know what happened by his own admission inside of the lab.
He's gonna lose this case just because this long-ass closing.
And all of this evidence is at the state's fingerprints. All of this evidence would have been available if they'd interviewed their own officers. I am begging the court to look very carefully, not at specifically, do we have anybody saying Mr. Coolidge, they saw Mr. Coolidge specifically shoot an officer? No. What we have is testimony that people in black masks did that. Do we have any testimony that he talked to these people? No. Do we have any testimony that he spoke to these people on the radio? No. And the main focus again is that he admitted he could not have identified him based on clothing when he reappeared in the lab. Because of these facts, there is no actual evidence presented by the state today that whatever Mr. Coolidge was doing in that lab, that he had anything to do with what happened outside. And in fact, the testimony of Mr. Coolidge is that he was already shot inside the lab, which Deputy Ripley did not know about, but presumably other officers would have if they had called them. And then the other thing I would emphasize is that it's completely consistent with Deputy Hightower's statement in Report 1330. He didn't think anybody else there outside had a shotgun, because I presume similarly, he only investigated the outside. This is a case where there was a fantastic amount of evidence on scene. There was apparently a 5-minute shootout. There's blood everywhere. There's shootings everywhere. There's a bunch of officers. There's a bunch of people involved. And what did the police bring us? None of that. they don't know what happened inside of that lab, and this man has to be found not guilty because they just simply haven't proven their case. And then the only other thing I'll mention again is felony murder does not exist in this state. And even if they had linked him to the other things, he must be acquitted of the 2 second-degree murder charges. Thank you, Your Honor.
Your Honor, I let him finish, but any allegations of a Brady violation are wholly unfounded, just due to the fact that there are 2 arrest reports in the linked investigation. It's not the state's fault if the defense does not wish to look through all of the linked reports. Anyway.
Even if they are linked, you are actually tagged in the 4th suspect you keep mentioning. I was gonna bring that up in my verdict, but you are actually notified of the 4th suspect.
Oh, is it on?
But with that, I'll be doing my verdict.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ripley, you're in charge.
All right. Did you know that there are far too many people walking around the state famished? Did you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, what do we got for food?
Okay. This has been a long court case. All right. If you don't fuel your bodies, you are gonna drop. So you need to take care. I got chicken fajitas right here, as well as rainbow cakes. So I'd like everyone to please partake. These are made with healthy ingredients. Rainbow cake, we got drinks, chicken. Go on up. Go on. Don't be shy. There you go. Okay.
Is this some kind of bribe? What's going on here?
This is
Have some cake, please.
Oh, sorry. You got a chicken fajita. You want cake though? I gave you some cake.
Hey, Uriel.
Here you go. Wait. You want cake?
What's going on, Timmy?
There you go.
It was closing statements, not closing novel.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I think
cake or a fajita.
defense lawyers don't know yet, like which judge to do that with and which one to not.
Chalk is not the one to do that with.
Yeah.
You're welcome. All
Chalk
right.
is the last one, to be honest.
Something to drink.
My list
Let's
is a
see.
close second.
How about a very
Yackle,
relatively
too. All
healthy
3 of
rainbow
them.
slushy with
Yeah,
ice cubes and sugar? Extra
the
sugar.
justices, I mean, obviously, yeah.
Definitely
Chalk
keep
is
you
the
going.
justice.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my ball license.
A
Oh, you
fajita,
actually got
okay.
it?
Here
Nice.
we go.
Yeah. Dan gave it to me last night. Fine.
Sick.
You are.
Okay.
Chicken
Because I
You
couldn't
don't-
get a hold of Spring. I couldn't get a hold of Spring.
Yeah, she hasn't really
All right.
been
You still
around
hungry or
lately.
thirsty?
Both, honestly, sir.
Did
Okay,
you done any
chicken
cases yet then? Or?
fajita, and how
Not yet.
about
Oh, God.
rainbow slushy? There you are.
Thank you so much. I do appreciate everything you do for the state, sir. And you
Oh,
really
yeah.
do.
Especially my cooking. Once you've tasted it, you will appreciate it all that much more.
All right. Well, yeah. I mean, congrats. That's great.
Tonight
I'm
is fish
excited.
night at the BCSO, so I'll be
So
whipping up
whenever,
glazed fillets.
Whenever people need help, I can help them.
Do you guys like
Fuck
sell
you.
food out the back door or something?
Perfect.
No, I was thinking about doing that, but it would definitely produce all kinds of safety and security concerns
look
around the
at that,
BCSO. So I'll try to work with Casey's Diner across the street
what?
instead.
Could have called it like BCS.
Your
to go or something
profile?
like that.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
that's
that would have
good.
been a BCS to go. Oh, I'm so tempted now.
BCS,
It's right there. It's right
BCS,
there.
Wait, why don't you
to go.
have? There's no
What's that- we could
picture.
get
There's
what's
no
her name?
phone in
Montgomery? We
here.
could make a,
I
she
know,
could do
I
the jingle
know,
for
yeah, we
it.
need
Your
that.
blood's
I'll
not
have
in
my
here.
phone.
BCS,
I'll have my phone.
BCS to go.
You need to get your blood on file.
We gotta get Kate on that, sir.
It's the most delicious food you know.
Yeah, we definitely gotta get Kate on that, Ripley.
Who's Cade?
A new deputy whose
Oh.
application was a song.
Oh, okay.
I guess she's more of a cadet, but. Take me on to the BCSO. That was the whole song.
Such a banger too. It's such a good song.
It is a banger.
I keep thinking about it.
Can't be worse than those guys on mission. Whoa. I don't know, something along those lines.
Yeah. That's it.
All right.
What
Yeah,
happened to
the-
your eye?
My eye. It's a long story. You don't want to
It's
hear
a
about
long,
it.
it's a long
I'm sure we
story.
got time.
It's not a fun story. I don't
It's
like to
not
talk
a
about
fun
it.
story.
He doesn't want to talk about it. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Wait, you lost it at a casino. Why? That's why.
The
Tell
casino.
me what happened
no.
to your eye. I'll tell you what happened to my face.
Yeah.
These are bad memories.
Yeah. What happened to your face? You just got that's just a tattoo, or is that actually your jawbone?
Oh, it's a tattoo. I mean, I'll tell you
Oh.
what happened under the face, or under the tattoo for the face.
I was gonna say, what happened is
Under
you got a
his face,
tattoo.
Holy shit.
Was it like Nicolas Cage and John Travolta in Face Off?
I don't know, man. I want to know about that eye, and then I'll tell you.
I don't know. It's got some Castor Troy and Paul X Troy vibes. Face Off. It's a classic. It's a good one. Nobody ever talks about Face Off. One of how many times you get to see Nicolas Cage and John Travolta on the screen together? Not very often.
That's true.
Hey, isn't that the only time?
Classic John Woo.
Mm-hmm. And they got to. It's one of the first movies I remember that was a big action movie, big blockbuster hit that they got to work the title of the film into like this. It was like the first. What are we? Some sort of Suicide Squad? Except it was like, I want to take his face off. Oh, he said the thing. He said the title. He said it. He said it.
Yeah.
Masterclass in acting too. Halfway through the movie, John Travolta and Nicolas Cage basically switch personas, and they just carry each other's mannerisms perfectly over. It's like, wow. I really did believe they took their faces off and swapped them.
Whenever I think of Nicolas Cage, I always think of Lowrider.
Oh, I know that song. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
Low, why, duh.
Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum.
When are we supposed to start shouting Jerry? When are we supposed to start shouting Jerry?
I'm gonna look at the wall very closely for a moment.
Just very briefly, Uriel, and then I did see that other report. I'm sorry on that specific note. It doesn't say anything about Mr. Coolidge in there, but I had not seen it, so that was my mistake.
Yeah, it's confusing. The whole system is very confusing.
It's just a bad system. It's fine.
It's not as bad for the investigations because we can see the names.
Yeah, I guess it is a little better. Yeah, it could be better.
X down there. It asked me if I wanted to delete it if I tried to. But anyway,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
Yeah, that's
You have to like click the outside of it. It's very awkward.
Book in progress.
Oh my god! You know when Lowrider came out, Timmy?
When?
1975.
Considers
Can
wall.
you believe
I'll be right
that?
back.
That was before my parents were born, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Oh my god! I had no idea the song was that old. I just assumed it was like from the, I don't know, late 80s or something, early 90s. 1975. Wow.
Yeah, my papa used to, watch a lot of movies back then. Back when he was giving us cocaine to sell. That's another name I don't like hearing. Ooh.
Three shots.
Hey, Will.
Yeah, 3.5 drinks. I'm great at pool. Rest of the time, dog shit.
911, what's your emergency?
That's why you play the first game when you're not drunk, and then you bet on the second one. You'll never see it coming.
You're clever, yeah. That's how you do it.
Okay, I'll get Hoopers over there as soon as possible.
He works for the police? Holy shit.
Put your hands up. Alright, sounds good.
Church, darling.
It's alright. We're in like the library. It's like a separate area from the church.
Troopers from BCSO?
Like the church, it's like it cuts off there, right? This
You
is like an
taking bets on
offshoot.
this? Who do you think's winning?
This is the room where you're allowed to do kissing.
The state of San Andreas.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think the defense kind of killed the closing a little bit.
That's the beautiful part about justice. Even if the defendant wins, San Andreas is still wins. Because justice is still served.
That is a fair point.
Ripley, name a better combo between comms on Trooper Radio and not talking.
Nice. I like this.
My favorite is when they start talking and then you ask them a question and it just goes radio silent.
Oh my gosh, there's so many people. Why is this so? Look at this stack on North Rockford Drive.
Unimpressive.
Boring.
Some dickheads
North Rockford?
making laws.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what the hell?
What are they doing?
I don't
Are
know
they
if I
crashing
like
into
this
each other
one.
over there? What are they doing?
Oh my gosh.
Very chaotic.
It's kind of colorful.
Impromptu
though.
SASP meeting, I guess.
Yeah, Trooper stack, on the max.
Is that like?
Hey, you know what? Good to see him not at MRPD.
Yeah, I was gonna say the rest of them are at Mission Row.
Even though there's still
like
still a stack at MRPD.
Still a lot of MRPD.
God.
Is there any way for?
Can I get a few of those quesadillas?
Well, I
the
only have a
fajita?
couple left, but you can have one.
Yeah, can I have one? That'd be great. Just enough to get me over for a little bit.
There you go.
Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a fajita. I thought it was quesadillas.
Oh, chicken fajitas.
Oh, that's cool. I'm down with that.
Very filling.
Yeah, I remember.
It all kind of blends together.
Yeah, I remember he was there at the BCSO.
That sort of surrealist vibe, I think.
If we turned it upside down, you wouldn't even see the people.
Are there any 10 Houston in the city?
I really want to look at it upside down now.
You get one.
Got my beaver nuggets.
Radio check.
Do you reckon
Well, they
any
got
of
like
these
a
books-
radio. Why do they have a radio?
Okay, no worries. I was just checking them.
You see that down there? They got like a radio light box. It's supposed to be like the past.
No, funny fact, this is actually set in the future, this painting. This is after society has collapsed, started rebuilding from the ground up. Yeah, so they've got like some old
Let's
world
see.
tech and they've got some new world tech, but they're also running around in robes like it's the...
Is that their leader? You see?
Hello.
You see how like there's like a radio light down here, but then they're like all in robes and it's like the past. You
Take
think
me
it's the future?
on to the BCSO.
Why else would you have a radio with like a light?
Come and have a look. Have you seen this painting over here, young man?
Yeah.
Mine?
Look at this one.
Come and look at this. Tell me what you think.
Slash City Hall and
Wait, my court.
You're in the kids.
Is
this part of the church?
Of the church.
I don't know. I feel like
Does
it's
this
part of
bit
the
count
church.
as church? Is
I
this
don't know
like...
this part. I don't know. Well, you know how the
See?
churches like they
See,
have
he
like
doesn't
the
think
they
it's
have,
part
like,
of
the
it either.
pastor offices, you know.
Yeah, it's like the side bit that's not really like church. I feel like church is over in there.
Well, yeah, I mean, the pastor still has to have an office, and then you know the. Well, it depends on I guess what religion. This
The
church
Lord.
is.
Okay, is if you're in here, if you're in this room, is God watching you?
God's always.
I think God. Yeah, I think God's always watching.
Fuck, that's such a good point. So it doesn't matter.
Well, it matters a little. I don't think you should do it in church,
Well, I
but
mean, I think it's a little bit.
here.
Point of reference for like whether there's respective places to do things and not.
Yeah, that's sort of what we were talking about. Yeah.
We weren't doing anything over here.
Being very good.
I mean, if you're begging, and if you know, if you're begging, I don't think that, you know. I think it's still part of the. You know, I think it's still on the grounds. You know, I still think it's Like,
Yeah.
So
That's
now
sort
you're
of
changing your
my-
answer to the
Still-
whole
still-
place.
I think it's still consecrated as a holy place. You know.
Yeah, this is still church.
No, I think church cuts off. You gotta cut the line somewhere.
Well, then what do you consider like the
How are
cemetery
they
behind
talking about?
What are those graves not part of?
That's just a
the holy
graveyard.
ground? Yeah, but graveyards are holy grounds.
Okay,
Yeah.
maybe outside graveyards on holy ground.
So you think the whole church minus this area, the
Yeah,
whole
just not the
outside where the
library.
graves
This is a
are.
library.
Library outranks church, does it?
Which is a good sign.
Yeah, knowledge is more important.
I don't know. I don't
suppose
know what
can
you're thinking, Mr.
understand.
Call. I don't know what you. I don't know what's supposed to be a boy in there. So. What was your name, ma'am? I know his name. I don't know your name.
I'm Cass. Cass Harper. Nice to meet you.
Yes, nice to meet you. I know we've talked plenty of times.
Yeah, you're the dispatcher, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And newly
Hello.
boss certified. I don't know, not necessarily attorney. But...
All right.
Oh my
so
god, we
you're
got
a
lap.
Get rid of
Well, I
this.
guess you're
We got
bar
lap
certified,
photo
so
me.
you're a lawyer.
I know my shit.
Scheduling.
I've been learning from the best.
Who's the best?
You learned from Barry
BCSO.
too?
You learned from,
Barry
learned from who?
Barry.
Barry, he's the lawyer over there.
You mean the guy who gave a closing novel instead of a closing statement?
Yeah, that was awesome.
Don't hate on him for being good.
He just kept going.
He made sure those points went right in. He drove the point right home.
I'm
I
sorry,
mean, some of
but
the judges need
but
that.
that would
Very thorough, yes.
But Chalk was the wrong one to do that to.
That's what I was thinking though.
That goes in one ear, white out the other. You gotta dumbify it for Chalk. You know, he's a smart guy, but
Take me
once you
for.
go too long, you know, he just tends to ignore it.
Nosy Nelly?
Oh, he's got that ACDC, does he?
Oh yeah.
Well, Barry did repeat this like 5 times.
He
After,
did,
like,
he
the third one,
definitely-
I kind of clocked out a little.
Yeah, same.
I fell asleep on the bench.
Don't your arms get tired holding that, Ripley?
Helps build stamina. See, because I'm going to be at the cutting board cutting the heads off of about 75 fish tonight. So I need to hold this up, make sure my arms are strong enough to swing that cleaver. Because if you don't cut it clean, then it definitely affects the texture of the fish.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
lived on a mountain.
Family bears?
No.
You use a
no,
cleaver? You've never been taught to cut at the gills?
No, I just cut it right. Just cut the head off and just flip it off into the trash.
It's a waste of so much good meat.
And then there were bears there.
Well, you know, we buy in bulk. You know, I don't have time to perfectly fillet every one of them. I got to feed 140 deputies.
Just trying to make them proud.
Cheek meat.
That's true. You gotta cut corners somewhere.
Exactly. Yep.
Well, the judges
Yeah, that's his
have
weakness.
Cut the head right off and get the side fillets in there, toss it in the cooler, and put the rest out the back window for the animals.
Yeah. God, I could go for a fish fry right now.
So like his hair is like blonde, but then he's wearing the purple shirt. So I was wearing the purple shirt, but instead of my hair, I did my pants.
It's fish, right? We've been
blonde.
eating it, close it
I
down,
don't
time
have
to
blonde,
cook
so I
it,
did khaki.
Tonight is Wednesday, so we're doing seafood, spiced apple cider for drink, and cinnamon bunt cake for dessert.
Oh God, that sounds good. If I get ingredients, should I just drop them off at your place?
Yeah, so
BCSO.
you know where the locker room is?
Yeah.
There's 2 refrigerators on either side of the door to the locker room. Those are just raw ingredients. You can drop anything you want in there.
Just put meat and fish in
Raw
there.
stuff. Yeah, meat, fish. Actually, no, just meat. In the back of the PD, I've got a fish drop-off refrigerator.
Oh,
for the public,
okay.
so people can drop off fish there.
Oh, all right.
If they want, they can take them too. I don't really care. It's just.
I'd rather
typical
do that.
people
I
have-
mean, you don't earn shit for the fish you catch, so.
Yeah, I tell people I'll pay like 150% of whatever the fishmonger will pay them because he barely pays them. So I give him like 1.5 times what they would have gotten from the fishmonger.
Oh shit. Okay.
Gets me fresh ingredients and it keeps them, you know, a way to make a little bit extra money.
One time. Hey, we took him to the Vinewood sign and he fell off of it.
Same thing with deer meat. I try to make sure that we pay them for deer meat better than whatever the guy. He'll rip you off for deer meat, coyote meat, boar meat.
I saw that one time.
Yeah, I got to get out there. I got to do some hunting.
Oh my god, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Deputy Whitlocker does a lot of hunting. He comes in with a big shipment of deer every week.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
before we went to the sign.
That's nice. Oh, who hasn't joyridden
Ray,
around
wouldn't
once or
it, though?
twice, you know?
Exactly. I crashed into a wall. That's fine.
Oh, you silly
Did you
boy.
intend to give it back?
No.
I did intend to give it back. Yes.
Don, where's your child?
Didn't do a Grand Theft Auto, very good.
That was a wonderful contribution to the fucking conversation, brother. No.
Don't admit that on the stand, darling.
That's all it needed.
I don't think I got Grand Theft Auto on
Mm-mm-mm.
theft of a motor vehicle.
Quite right. I hate when they charge Grand Theft Auto for everything. It's like when they charge for bloody attempted murder just for shooting at cops. I sort of think there should be a distinction there.
Well, if I remember,
I also hate whenever they charge attempted murder for shooting at cops.
We're in the library.
You're very loud, and this place is very open.
I'm not that loud.
Very, very loud, actually. Yeah.
Very loud. I would agree.
It's a church. It echoes.
No, we're in the
Good point. Good point. Kind of echoing.
Yeah, this bit specifically is not the church.
Technically, it's also a food court because he's passing out food.
but I can barely hear you, so they had to be sitting against the wall.
Someone also ran in and
I can
stabbed
still
the-
hear you. We're across the church.
Can you hear me?
Someone
Yes.
also
Yeah.
ran and stabbed the priest earlier.
Wait, you can hear me?
Yeah.
At the beginning of
He was right
What
at the
the
start.
heck?
I hear you, Timmy.
He's still dead back there.
Yeah, he's still laying there.
Poor bastard.
Listen, that's a later problem.
that's
right now,
one
it's
thing,
Bob's
man.
problem.
Yeah, all right.
I'm just talking like normal and they can just deal with it.
Oh, God, I love beaver nuggets.
The heck
This
is
is kind
it?
of a long deliberation.
I don't know what to make of this.
Favorite.
Yeah, this one's kind of crazy.
I want to see this one upside down.
Should I go ask him what's taking so long? He did like that.
I can.
Sorry.
I like the top right, the little flag.
There is so much happening. That
Oh,
guy's
excuse me.
peeing in that fish's mouth.
Where?
Fucking
Bottom right?
excuse me?
Oh, I do see
Wait.
that.
Oh my gosh, what the hell?
Am I the only person that heard that?
This painting is wild.
Yeah, it's a good one.
We've got to get one of these for our house.
The thing in the top left corner looks like that little thing off, like Nightmare Before Christmas.
Oh, God.
Escape from the noise. What are you doing, Coffee? Finalizing your builds? I should do that right now.
Fucking business.
Hat of that
When? Mind your fucking business.
dead guy.
Getting excited back there or what? Relax.
A little bit.
I like the frog with the hands at the bottom and the middle.
God damn it.
What's he got on his head?
Worlds again. Making rice. Okay.
Me too, actually. Just
Yeah, I better get back to work.
I had a little beef strogie noff for dinner.
The more you stare at it, the weirder it gets.
That is wild. That's like paper thin walls.
What'd you say?
That is like paper thin walls.
Yeah, you could hear you like absolutely clearly out here.
Well, I mean, can they even hear me right now that I'm talking?
Yes, I can hear every word you're saying.
That is that is wild.
Yeah.
Nice slice of life, I suppose. The,
Yeah, like a Sunday stroll.
yeah.
Hey, look who it is.
This is the most normal one.
Build
Yeah, I'm going back to ACSO. Good luck on the ruling.
All right, see you,
Thanks,
Timmy.
Timmy.
The guy who painted this is almost definitely on no drugs. That guy was though.
This guy won
Let's
like
see. What is Ziz playing for this event?
It was an honorable mention.
You know, guys,
there's a reason that one's on the walls by
usually a
itself.
result from women's thighs, so maybe you should talk to him.
Starforge.
And then
Why is that?
on the back of
Power Siphon Mines.
Why
I mean, yeah, those are pretty cool.
being weird.
Oh, fair enough.
Help me piece it all together. Scavenger. PS Mines looks horrible.
How your hips doing up there? You've been dancing for a minute.
He's playing PS Mines Scavenger.
Oh, I need a breather.
I thought.
Oh man.
Yeah, take a sit. Yeah, there you go.
I gotta be ready to catch my second win for the dinner rush tonight.
Fish, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
That's fine. I'll smell a lot more like fish later.
Been dumb this whole time?
Because you're throwing them too close. Is that true? I thought they had fixed that. Or is that inherent to the skill?
It's very faint, Dom. It's not that bad.
Oh, really? Oh. Oh, God. Act 1 damage, not great. That's a hard skip. All right, what's Pox playing? What RF build are we playing? Yeah, either Poison SRS. Yeah. RF Scavenger. Okay. Oh. Yeah, I love Poison SRS. Love me an SRS skill. You have to play melee till Act 3? Ugh. Right, Sioso's the... Wait, who is Sioso? Hang on. That's Act 3, right? Yeah. Gross. So you play Scion Scavenger?
I haven't told a line item joke all day. And that's really good for me.
He joined the BCSO? Oh.
No, wait, I made the Blood and Body of Christ comment.
What the hell?
You did.
Fine.
Why here?
Can't take you anywhere.
Why here?
Oh, what the hell, man?
The courtroom was filled.
First lab is Envy, which is going to be nutty for leveling.
That's a good problem to have.
If you were Juan, where would you be?
Right there, look.
You two getting married up there? What the fuck's going on?
No, we're just saying hello to Barry. Good morning, Barry. How are you?
Good morning, guys. I like your new purple.
Thank you. I was trying to
RF
dress for a chalk
Scavenger.
court.
That's a good idea. I should really start doing that.
Oh yeah, I should update my
should.
POB.
That's where it works.
My
Flat
hair's
chaos
supposed to
damage,
be
which is
like
going to
this
be great
blonde hair.
at 16s.
We'll see. Oh, I might start dressing well.
Does it scale?
Grumble.
Or is it just, it's just flat?
No spoilers.
You know where they keep the communion wand?
Can you scale the flat damage though?
He looks
Who's
pretty asleep back
priest?
there.
We'll see. If they do dissolve the
Yeah,
PDO,
who's that?
I'll
You don't
probably
see.
ask to join your firm, Sam. We'll see if that happens.
God, everyone's joining Ulf and Sam's firms.
I assume you probably can't be part of a law firm while also in the PDO, right? I mean, I think maybe actually some people did do that, but that doesn't seem appropriate to me. But what do I know?
Yeah, unsure.
It's gonna be busted. Yeah.
What brand do you think this place is? Catholic? Episcopalian? Baptist? What are the other ones?
Maybe a
There's
Yeah,
like
this
Anglican?
is
literally
Oh, I
hundreds
forget
of other
Anglican.
ones.
this is definitely not Catholic.
Okay.
I mean, all you can try to do is judge based on the wall. I mean, that is probably Moses.
There's one candle up there. There's a couple.
It's got the tablets. That's got all the words written on it, doesn't it?
I'm pretty sure
Yeah, and
that's
he breaks the first tablet, so
actually
probably that
the guy
one.
who.
It could be.
God, there was some other guy who breaks a tablet at some point. Maybe he's that guy. I'm pretty sure that's Moses though. That looks very Moses-y to me. And I don't know. Is that also Moses? I don't know.
Okay, update
Yes,
ready.
Ten Commandments.
update.
I mean, the one.
Oh,
in the
God.
right, in the light.
Oh, that one I don't know what that is.
There's like words or something in the light.
Like at a bathroom here, should just piss in the corner.
Oh, there's like
Sounds like
Might go look at it.
Yeah, hit me on the way
Yeah, come and see
out.
the art, Barry.
I don't see any words in there.
It's quite the ruling.
Back there, what the fuck?
I don't remember any stories that like mention the sea.
What? Really? Not even the parting of the Red Sea? Was Moses?
This feels like
Yeah,
the ocean, but maybe not. Parting of the Red Sea. I guess I could see that.
I'm also gonna go piss in a fucking
See you on
feels
the
like he's in a
other
cave to me.
side.
And you say you guys
The
can't
cave on the
see
side of a
me
cliff,
anywhere,
on the
but
side of
those
the
Yeah.
ocean.
exist.
Yeah, it does. But he's
But
got
maybe he has
scripture,
a
look.
entire army behind him.
Listen, I'm obligated to love my husband for how he is.
Is that why you
Imports
have to do
build.
this? There's an army trying to cross.
Oh.
Well, it wasn't an army. It was all the slaves from.
Crashing down on you and me again. You on the other side.
And he's like, oh god.
Oh yeah, I guess Cyan makes sense for RF because you can just get to all of the jug nodes.
That is one way.
And then,
That is one way
and
to
then the
lose
rest
it.
of the army
Let me
follows
Oh, you have
him,
to play
so you have
Cobra
people that
Lash.
tried to hold down the slaves.
And then you play Peacock. Oh.
Yeah, and then he keeps walking for like 40 days.
Brush off your shoulder.
Oh yeah, Peacock in PoE 1 is actually
Back of the mountain.
still pretty good.
God's like, you're never gonna get to see the promised land, and then he dies.
That's really sad. I didn't know that, Bert.
Yeah.
Did he break the tablet on purpose, or did he just drop it?
He definitely broke it on
Love
purpose
you
in the first
all
Why
far.
did he break it on purpose?
I think he was mad
Yeah,
at
what's
the
going on?
promised land.
Hey, Uriel. So I have a trooper here that's looking to serve a warrant.
Okay.
For the warrant.
I gotta hang up. I gotta hang up.
okay.
Sorry.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, this is a pretty
No.
tough one. Because from everything that I've heard today, and from what I've read, you know, usually Ripley would be the arresting officer, but I think he was more of an assistant officer in this case. I don't know. Where's the cop that handcuffed him and brought him out? Is my main question. Because Ripley was just like a secondary who went to the morgue and then came and helped process at that point.
True.
There's also no testimony at all, which you can get testimony from putting in the investigation report is the best thing you can do. It's crazy that there's officers who didn't give their testimony when there's people who are dying.
Okay.
With that,
not a good start.
Miami find him guilty of criminal possession of explosives because he found guilty and firearm and weapon attachments, and also trespassing because he admitted he was trespassing there. And the last three were resisting and 2 times second-degree murder and 4 times accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee.
So not guilty.
This one, I had to really look at all the evidence that I could.
Resisting probably.
And question
Or
why
all
there's
of
so
these.
much evidence missing. The biggest conclusion that I came to for 4 times accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee was that the problem was that Ripley stated that Deputy Foley requested backup because there's shotgun shots being shot in the parking lot of Humane Labs. So my question is, why were there shots? And because they weren't at him. There's so many questions that had to be answered that just didn't come up, or not even like in a statement anywhere. There's too much doubt for me to find him guilty of any accomplice to attempted murder of a government employee, or second-degree murder, or resisting without other officers' testimony. That's my final judgment. Unless he can add more evidence in the future, this could be a retrial. That's my verdict.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Hey, can you try these?
If you have any questions, you can come up to me.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay.
If now's appropriate, I don't actually have questions about
I would
the
guess.
verdict.
I think he's saying if we want to try
things you think I could have
to
done
make
better,
this
should have
rule
done.
a
And
precedent.
Also, I did notice that report and apologize.
Maybe
to
with
you,
a better
I didn't even notice those Alexis could be.
context, I guess, or
I know now.
Yeah, I mean having the arresting officer, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Well, it didn't really answer any questions as far as the felony murder rule, unfortunately.
No, I
was
think
hoping the verdict
that's.
would
Yeah, that's.
explain that, but it kind of didn't even. It kind of sidestepped the issue and ruled based on other stuff.
If you have this come up again, I'll definitely work with you to press that. See if we can get them to answer that question.
Sure. Yep. And in the meantime, I guess, like you said, I guess their lawyer was saying we should be pushing this through the governor's office. If we believe there should be a felony murder rule, then apparently the governor has some kind of say in that. I don't know.
I don't know, because we don't have a legislative branch, so it's like, well, either things change through case law or I don't know. I don't know if just issuing an edict from the governor's office is enough to modify the penal code.
That's the kind of thing I keep telling people is it's kind of like when the United States first started. I mean, the only way you know if you can do something is to do it and see if there's any pushback and see if you get away with it. If you do it and nobody says you couldn't do it, guess what? You just set a precedency. Now you can do that.
Do you guys have any questions for me at all? I kind of feel like you got kind of got screwed, Ripley. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I don't know. It's the actual.
Let's chat outside.
The actual case was I killed another guy and then I ended up booking this guy, but I didn't really care much about that. I care more about the felony murder rule and this ruling didn't really address that topic.
Yeah,
I guess there wasn't enough to address it.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't put their statements in the investigation report. I'm so confused by that.
Yeah, I mean our report system sucks big time.
Yeah, I know. And the best thing to do that is the investigation report, right? Because you can actually update that as you go.
Well, yeah, one person at a time can, but if anyone else is in it, they're gonna lose.
Yeah,
all
I
their
know
shit.
it's fucking annoying. But that you have to you remember come on, Rip. Remember the old times where you had to do it one by one. You have to do that here again, pretty much.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks, but it is what it is, right? And that's the best way to do it. But yeah, I see what you're saying though. Okay, so if I did find him guilty, I don't think I would have pushed second-degree murder because I would say whoever shot first is the one who attended to kill, and they kind of responded, right? Also, is this person the one that shot first? Do you remember that at all? The Jace? The Jace that turned around the shotgun on you.
Yeah, he was running from us, and he hid in a bush and took a shotgun on, tried to blast us.
Because
so
I feel like
returned
he
fire.
would be the person to push second-degree murder if he didn't die. Because I feel like it was his intent to kill people.
Yeah, I did. I literally followed him to the morgue and tried to press charges against his corpse, but they ushered him off to the incinerator. And to my horror, I wrote this 6-paragraph report with all these details and all this stuff, and then they put him in the box, and I'm like, I hit save on my report, and it was like unable to save. There's no such person. I'm like, but
oh my gosh, okay,
what are you
I got
talking about?
screwed.
I was super annoyed. Which sucks because I also had he had an MP. I didn't make it into evidence in this case, but he had an MP5 and grenades, and I'm like, okay, this guy's got an MP5, and then that guy's got a shotgun with a suppressor and grenades, and I'm thinking these guys have the same type of weaponry. Let's use that, but then I couldn't because the guy died, and I couldn't make any of his evidence go into the report, and when I closed it, it was gone for good, and I was like, oh my god.
Yeah,
I can't
okay,
believe
yeah,
that.
it's okay, yeah, you kind of got fucked everywhere then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
just.
I mean, it's not like it was just like, oh, poor Ripley, MDT fucked him. It was like, you know, it was a combination of that, and also like you've seen it probably in your career time and time again. 14 cops end up swarming all over a scene. Everyone's gung ho when it's shots being fired, but once the dust settles and people are down, everyone's like,
They
okay,
scatter.
I'm back in service.
Yep,
Ripley, you
scatter.
got this guy and that guy, and then Hightower, you got this guy and that guy. Okay, bye. Let us know if you need a statement.
It's
I do.
crazy.
Who
Like,
was that? Who are you?
Yeah,
What?
whoever moved him should have been the arresting officer. I don't know why they just gave it up like that.
No idea. It was half troopers and a couple of deputies. I think the BCSO existed for like a day or two before that.
Before this
so we were
happened?
all still
Oh,
forming.
okay. Yeah, okay.
So most of us were like still figuring out who each other were, and I didn't know half the people there. And I certainly didn't know the troopers. The troopers showed up and then left. They showed up, shot, and left. But I do remember there was one cop who was like, I think it might have been Riley Reeds, I'm not sure, but somebody was like, oh, I'm going to go back to the scene on, you know, collect all the evidence and put all the casings and stuff. And I kind of was like, oh, okay, good. So there's somebody that's going to have all that.
Okay. I think she did. But again, the problem is she put it in a fucking box. I can't open the box in the evidence locker.
Oh.
Yeah, people really got to be good about taking pictures if they're going to organize it like that.
Yeah, I keep forgetting that too. I have to. I'm lucky in this case. I took a picture of the guns and the grenade and stuff because I thought to myself, oh, if this goes to court, they're gonna need this picture because I can't see in the evidence locker. But yeah, there's so much. I mean, I'm so used to just filing things away and just I'm assuming there's some court clerk who's gonna be like, okay, evidence contents, 1 positive GSR test, 1 Glock 17 with drum mag, 1 shotgun with suppressor, 1 fragmentation grenade. But there isn't. It's just like a mystery box that nobody can see inside.
Yeah.
Which is really frustrating for discovery. The defense attorneys must be going nuts. Going,
Yeah,
okay, I've got trial in 2 days.
We get
and
accused
this
of Brady
freaking cop's got all
violations
this in the
every
box.
case. Every case.
Ay. I think there's some frustrations, but I'm sure that good times are coming. It's just that we gotta be patient to get there and kind of keep being the squeaky wheel to hopefully get some of these issues ironed out so that we have a more seamless, enjoyable, you know, judicial like process.
Yeah.
It's frustrating for me. I'm sure it's frustrating for the defense attorney. So frustrating for you as well.
Yeah, it's frustrating all around.
It's frustrating for
Yeah,
everyone.
I don't know anybody that's happy with the process we have currently.
Yeah, but yeah, we can make the best we can with it. I thought it was a good case to try because I knew when I was in the cells like this is. I didn't think it was a Hail Mary. I would never push a case if I thought it was a Hail Mary, but I thought this is going to be a questionable one that there will be definitely some argument for and some definite argument against. But it will. I think it's an argument that needs to be had is who is responsible for a death. If, you know, because like their defense lawyer said, there are jurisdictions, plenty of them, that support the felony murder rule, and there are also plenty who don't. And they have valid arguments on both sides about why they do or don't entertain it in their specific jurisdiction. So I was like, you know what? I think that it's time for San Andreas to have that argument and see where that goes.
Yeah,
and
I
this
think
is sort of the first salvo in that debate.
Yeah, I think the problem with that too is gonna be different for each judge. So you're not gonna ever get your answer, which kind of sucks, Ripley.
Well, that's kind of like, you know, everywhere else. I mean, it does depend on what judge. It depends on which circuit. It depends on which appeal. So it kind of depends on. And besides the fact that even if everything were the same, I might show up one day and be, you know, too hot to handle, like sharp on it, quick-witted, and then another day I might show up, you know, overslept, tired, half asleep, forget half the details, stumble over my own words, may not make a convincing case where the defense attorney might be like a silver-tongued devil talking circles around me, and they end up winning. So there's lots of that's. I don't take personal like when that happens because that's gonna happen. It's more like I want that argument. I love those. I told who was I telling? Dan last night. I told him I got court today, and I was like, he was like, oh, you got all your ducks in a row for the evidence and all this kind of stuff, and I was like, not really. I don't really. I'll be honest. This is one of the few cases I didn't really care too much about the facts of the case. I cared more about like the argument to be made.
It's more like a Supreme Court case, kind of.
It's kind of like a mini Supreme Court case. Yeah, it's kind of like we agree that there was a bad thing that happened. We all agree that he didn't pull the trigger, but let's talk about like the legality there. So I think it's an interesting discussion.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Yeah, what's up?
All right, I got to get to dinner service.
All right.
Yep.
Hungry
Thank you,
deputies.
Ripley.
Thank you.
See y'all.
Going.
Bye. Have a good day, sir.
Ta-ta.
Yeah, we were just getting clarification on when he's going to get reimbursed for his time and fines.
Reimbursement. I
'Cause
could
it's
do
a very large amount of money.
Yeah, I could do. Whitlock, do you think you could do it? Or do you want me to do all the additional and then $10 per month he spent in jail? I could add it up, or I could try to get Blake to do it.
Oh, get Blake to do it.
Yeah, I can try to get Blake on. Rudy to Blake. Let me see if he's still around.
6101. No time served. So 470. Is it times 10?
Hey Blake, question: do you want to add up the charges that he was found not guilty for and the reimbursement, or do you want me to? Because it's gonna be a lot of addition. All right, yep. If you can do that, and post it on the docket for me ASAP, and then we can get a check from BCSO for him. Alright, thank you. All right, yep. So we'll do the addition for you right now, and then when Blake posts it, can you issue him a check from the BCSO Whitlock?
Well, I can't, but they can go to BCSO.
Yeah, you can go to BCSO and ask for a check, and then point them to the docket.
I assume they need command for that one, though, right?
Should be, or maybe even Timmy can do it. I don't know. He handles their payroll.
I mean, Timmy will probably get Wrangler to verify, because I don't think Timmy can actually see the docket.
Oh.
I've seen him with his tablet out before.
He has a bar license now.
If he has a bar, he might be able to see it then. Yeah, ask Timmy if he's there. Just ask any officer. If not,
Yeah, any officer can.
Just ask for a superior if like they give you issues.
Yeah, I know in the past that most officers were limited to 5,000 for their checkbook.
Oh, okay. If that's the issue, then yeah, you might have to go to a Wrangler for that.
Yeah, and it was only like high command that could actually write everything over like 15.
Yeah, you have to go to Wrangler for that then.
Okay.
Or Tessa or Quirk, I think, could probably do it too.
It's whoever has bank access. I don't know who that.
Yeah, that's why. All right.
Thank you.
Any more questions? Yep, no problem.
Are they gonna put this in his profile, or is it just gonna be on the docket?
Ooh, I can put it on his profile. When I see the docket, I'll put in his profile. And,
yeah, I'd do that.
Yep,
That'd be
that for you.
$10 per month, and then the fines that have already been charged, right?
Yep, the fines will be reimbursed plus $10 per month.
Yeah, it'll be like 76 total, I think, something like that.
All right, beautiful.
Something like that. All right, yep.
All right, thank you for your
guys.
time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you, Whitlock.
Thanks,
Okay. Kind of a bummer. We didn't get our legal answer, but
It's very, very we're working through it. Like I was saying.
Giga stormy.
Jesus, it's fucking raining.
I know, it's bad. I'm mad? Why are you mad? Murder charges now. So actually, yeah, how much is going to get reimbursed for that? It's going to be a bit. Because the attempted second is like, yeah, 33,000. And then attempted murder 53. It's like going to be 57-ish, I think. 58. In terms of reimbursement. Nope. 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 So stormy. Jesus. I love it. Alright. Well, now what do we do? Prep for our case Saturday, probably. This is kind of what next we gotta do. I need to get some drink. Oh god.
Hello, friend.
Hello.
Thank you.
Bunch of sprunk.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Murder charges now. Oh my god. Did you see the way the light looked? Holy fuck. Oh my god. This is a crazy storm. Holy shit. What day is it? Wednesday? Why do I keep thinking it's Thursday for some reason. Oh my god. You're making curry? What the hell, man? But what kind of curry, though? Oh. Oh, perfect. Oh god, running in puddles and dress shoes? Fuck, man. Makes me cringe. Oh, like Thai curry? That sounds good. Big fan of Japanese brown curry. Very goog.
They're working on it. I'm up here now.
Up here, but I'm just because I got their shit. So
Yeah, we just had to move down because it was getting pretty loud and.
How are there so many fucking cars here?
move down.
Hmm. Oh, are we not allowed to just look at VINs anymore? Or does it have to be unlocked? Oh. Hmm. Yeah, we really need to clean up so many cars. Alright. That's all I really wanted to stream today was that court case. Not really feeling... I'm gonna go play some Billionaire, I think. Just chill. Yeah, the court's been kind of pulling it out of me, so... Let me text Ripley. Better for next time. Some courting. So true. Uriel be sleeping. View distance. Boom.